All right, it is Tuesday night in Tooney Town, and that can only mean one thing. It is time for the fastest rising pro wrestling live stream podcast on the internet today. It is time for Tooney Talk Wrestling. Folks, my name is Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster, and my nameplate is my That Park Place nameplate right now because I forgot to change it after the pro show today. So give me 1 second, guys. We're a professional organization here. So there you go. Guys, welcome to another week of nonstop wrestling talk action. Super thrilled to welcome you guys back after a very, 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 very long stream over the weekend. 7.5 hours of just nonstop talking about, reacting to, and talking about one wrestling show that I thought was atrocious and one that I thought was meh. So we're going to get into it, but I can't do it alone, guys. I need my team alongside, which, you know, slightly smaller team this week, but we carry on.
He stole a Hogan shirt from a girl. His actions make a righteous fool. He fantasized about Alexa Bliss. Who is this guy? He's Akadis.
The one and only Akadis is here with us, folks, aka Dis. Dis, welcome back.
Hi, that's me. I've been sitting here for 3 days waiting to come back, and now I'm here.
I know you've had cobwebs growing from you.
I haven't moved an inch. I'm the only one. So
Kevin has been traveling all week, which is why he really hasn't been on any shows. So he told me he was going to try to make it here around the 9 o'clock hour, but I told him not to kill himself with it because, he's got his show tonight, Lauren and Apollo, which we're talking about buddy cop stuff on that show tonight. So that's going to be fun. But at the same time, Awful is also not able to make it with us this week. So I almost pulled the, have you ever seen the whites only laundry commercial?
Yes.
I seriously almost pulled the whites only. I was like, you know what? That might be too far. When it comes to racial humor. And so I didn't do it.
I think so. I think it'd be a little tasteless. They're gonna miss though. We have our first scoop ever, isn't it? Isn't this our first scoop?
I think it is our first scoop. We actually have a scoop that we are going to reveal here on the show about some backstage dealings in All Elite Wrestling. So I'm very, very excited to get that out there into the world. Akadis.
We aren't a news site, but we still will, dabble if we can.
Well, people tell us things, and when they tell us that we're allowed to talk about it on the air, we might as well talk about it on the air.
Absolutely.
So Dis, how did it go? Because I know you were going to rewatch WrestlePalooza with your son on Sunday. So how did it go? How did he like it?
I rewatched WrestlePalooza. I actually watched the mixed tag match 3 times.
Yeah, and that's insane. That's like good Lord, were you being interrogated?
No, so I decided that I got a message from my brother who him and his daughter used to watch wrestling together and haven't watched it in a while, and they were telling me all kinds of stuff about it. So I'm like, Max wanted to watch it right away, so we went back and watched it, and we watched it Sunday. Actually, after the show on Saturday, I watched it. And then Sunday, when I was watching it with Max, he wanted to watch it again because he liked it a lot. And, I did not become more of a fan of that match. But I got to say, WrestlePalooza was a very average show. I'd probably give it more like a B-. I see C is coming up a lot in a lot of places.
Well, from the network that put it on, yes.
Yeah, I think people are starting to freak out a little bit and forget what C is. Like, C means average.
He's average. Yeah.
Yes, and that's about where the show was. It doesn't mean it's a disaster or
I see is what I would give it as well, because there were things that I liked. I mean, I really liked that. We'll get to talking about
we'll get to
what we didn't like. But first, we have to talk to our wonderful audience, because guys, this is a show made for you and financed by you. We count on your generous super chats to keep the lights on around here. And oh my goodness, we break for $50 or more, and we have to break hard right now because Mike Glass checking in with $100. Mike Glass, thank you so much, man. You have no idea how happy that made me. He says, Punk and Lee versus Rollins and Lynch sucked. Why do we drive on a parkway but park in a driveway? The Unicorn is Scotland's national anthem. Is that true? Huh. Kangaroos can't hop backward. Cena versus Lesnar was great. Alligators have permanent erections. I guess. And Vacker versus Sky was great. Later. Well, thank you very much, Mike Glass. Madonna me. We appreciate you here on Tooney Talk Wrestling. And yeah, you know what? We gotta play a clip for that.
We got one!
You know, I agree with everything that he said. I really did not like that mixed tag match. And I really did like Cena and Lesnar. And I thought Stephanie Vacker and Sky was match of the night by far and away.
The internet didn't like Cena versus Lesnar, apparently.
Why not?
So because
they're not like.
I don't know.
Because it was going up against the greatest world title match that's ever happened ever in the history of wrestling. I've been seeing people saying that.
Yeah, that's insane. And I have a theory that a lot of the there seems to be I'm going to make a flow chart of at some point where it seems like AEW fans will come in, or the AEW industrial complex of journalists will come in, and they'll state something that they think should be a fact. Like John Cena versus Brock Lesnar was terrible. It was just a squash match, and Brock Lesnar shouldn't be there, right? And then the WWE accounts, the ones that are people call like the Fed stands or whatever, they want to appear impartial, so they'll take the one thing from that and they'll say, well, yeah, I didn't really like that match either. And then before you know it, it just becomes a fact that the match was bad. But it definitely, I watched it with you. It was exactly what I wanted from a Brock Lesnar John Cena match. I don't want to see Brock Lesnar lose to John Cena right now. I
also had the understanding that this is round one,
right? Yeah, and I think it's because also Dave Meltzer came out and said, there's no plans for a rematch. This was the only match that they're going to have.
No, there's absolutely plans for a rematch. What the hell are you talking about, man?
Did
he actually say that?
Oh, yeah. He said, I don't know why John Cena wanted to lose because Brock Lesnar's sticking around and he's leaving, but there's not going to be a rematch between the two. Yeah.
He doesn't know.
It's gotta, like I said, I'm still going with the war game. There might not be a rematch. There might not be a one-on-one Brock Lesnar versus John Cena match, but they're gonna get back together. This is not the end of Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, I assure you.
Right. I agree. But yeah, I can't. Vacker. No one's saying bad things about Stephanie Vacker and Io Sky, I hope, because that match was awesome.
No, people are downplaying it. They're saying it was fine. It was fine.
It was no Mercedes versus Riho.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that I definitely liked WrestlePalooza better on Saturday than I liked it when I rewatched it on Sunday. Because I think on Saturday it was just it was such a relief after watching 6 hours of AEW to get just a quick, fun.
It could have been. It could have been 2.5 hours of the Big Show sitting on the toilet reading War and Peace aloud, and I would have been like, you know what, that was all right.
Yeah, C+, easy C. When you look at the AEW show, you had 6 hours of wrestling. I'd say of all of that, I can think of 3 matches that were worth my time in the entire show. And when you go back and look at I don't think the ladder match was fine, I guess, but really the triple threat with Takeshita and Okada was definitely that was a good match. That was a good match. And and the other guy, I don't know who that was.
They're the three tenors, Pavarotti, Domingo, and the other guy.
And then
Jose Carreras, by the way, was the other guy in the three tenors. But
yeah, there you go. But we still don't know who the other guy in the match was.
Yeah, no, that the world will never know.
But when you're looking at 6 hours and 3 good matches versus 3 hours, and I'd say 1 bad match, 2 decent matches, and 1 excellent match, mixed in. Because Io versus Rio, or Io versus Stephanie was fantastic. So, just my opinion.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's see. Ewan Cumia checking in for $5, and he says,
Glom gold, glom gold, glom gold, glom gold.
And Regina Sharp for $5 says, the first duck to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Shame is
Glom gold, glom gold, glom gold, glom gold.
once again defeating McDuck.
I defeated Scrooge McDuck!
We were on the same team.
I love the Glom Gold clips. Mr. Jamie Jam 88 for $4.99 says, what? No angry Booker T or swole Booker T? The actual hell, Jobber Monster. Sean, go grab my sledgehammer. Speaking of that voice, we are currently hard at work on the next Headlock Endlines. It is coming together. I'm getting like some weird writer's block in it. So we're actually going to do another compilation where the Tooney crew are going to put our heads together and have a little writer's room. So, hopefully that'll help, because sometimes, guys, there's so, like, I'm working on my novel. I am, and I'm writing a million things for that Park Place a day, plus, regular videos for Tooney Town TV. So, like, writing comedy has just kind of been really difficult for me lately. But yeah, it's coming soon. It will happen soon. So Honor Roll Dude for $4.99 is in the style of the Red House at Tooney Town, where white people talk about wrestling.
That's really funny considering what you told me before we started the show.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you before we started the show?
About the joke that you didn't want to make, that we were.
I said that on the air.
Oh, you did? I thought that was
I did.
The show. Okay.
No.
Well, there
At
you go.
the Red
Then it's not that.
House, where black people and white people buy furniture.
And Hispanic people too.
Ewan Cumia for $1.99 says the nerds wanted Lesnar to go 30 minutes. Yeah, I know. Brock Lesnar doesn't go 30 minutes unless it's WrestleMania or SummerSlam.
No, he didn't go 30 minutes unless it's his honeymoon. He's not going 30 minutes in wrestling. Right?
Yeah, no.
That man, come on.
No, you know what? You guys told me I had always had the mindset that Brock Lesnar just didn't care about wrestling, like, in any way, shape, or form. But you guys, like, have kind of turned me around on that by telling me about, like, the things that people say from backstage about how he's, like, he goes over matches with people and, like, watches the whole show, which I was like, man, I always thought that, like, whenever Brock is on first, I'm usually like, yeah, it's because he wants to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't know. Because that was Awful's joke too. But like I said, Natty put a thing out there, and she said, I know this is going to ruin his reputation, but Brock actually sits at the monitors and watches all the matches and gives them tips and stuff. So but that might not be on the shows that he works first either. Right.
I also feel like he might pick and choose the guys that he gives advice to. Like, could you imagine Brock Lesnar like pulling Matt Riddle aside, like back when he was there or something like that? That would never happen.
No. Maybe it might just be the women. Maybe because it was Natty that said it. So maybe it is just he's pulls old CM Punk and just gives tips to the young ladies.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now, CM Punk has not spoken to a female in the backstage area in the last 3 weeks.
Oh, I don't do. Did you see Bailey? Bailey wore his jacket yesterday on Raw. She wore the jacket that said the AJ's husband jacket.
She's going to end up with a meat cleaver in the back of her head.
AJ wasn't on last night either.
Then Punk was okay to Punk was okay to talk to people then.
Maybe that's why Bailey had the jacket, right? I think that's what we're going to see though with AJ. I think she's going to start wrestling Punk's their children, like Roxanne and the NXT girls that claim AJ as their mother. So
that's honestly, that's what I'm hoping this run is going to be. She'll beat Becky for the IC title. She'll work with a couple of the young girls, drop the belt, and then be gone. because I don't think long term you can put her on a roster with Stephanie Vacker and Rhea and Julia and all of them and expect her to hang with them, because she doesn't. Like, at the end of the day, I said this during the WrestlePalooza watching her work, I was like, man, she was good back in the day when you compared her to like the Bellas.
Yeah. I thought about it more. I bet this is her angling. She's going to get a podcast out of this, right? Like, that's where this is leading. I imagine she'll get a podcast on the WWE Podcast Network, and
she'll talk about therapy and all that great stuff.
And she'll hang around. She'll be there if they need her, but it's not going to be a whole thing. I think we angered somebody.
Awful Wrestling is here.
Yeah, I had to break up this clan meeting that was going on.
We're allowed to make jokes again.
Yeah. What's going on, fellas? Hopefully I sound all right for now.
You do. You sound great.
Perfect.
Okay.
You sound great. What is what were you thinking about the mixed tag match? Have you watched it?
You know what? I only saw one match, and that was the Stephanie Vacker versus Io Sky, which I thought was fantastic. ESPN got it right. It was a C. It was a one-match show. So yeah, that's how I see it.
You didn't like Brock and Cena? Or did you not watch it?
I seen it before. We saw that, what was it? I think I talked to this about it, like in 2013, where he crushed John Cena, and then John Cena made him slip on a banana peel and he won. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen it before. So when I saw it, and in fact, the closing of the match, when he pinned John Cena, the crowd seemed underwhelmed by it. They didn't seem as shocked as you would have thought they would have been.
Well, because I think everyone in the crowd is smarter than Dave Meltzer and realizes that this is going to go somewhere and that this isn't the last time they're going to fight each other. When Brock came back the first time, I know because that's what you're talking about with the big squash against Cena. And I know that personally, I didn't think Brock was going to stick around. Like, I think everyone everyone looked at Brock as, okay, he's an MMA guy now. He's not a wrestler anymore. He's just going to be here for.
He's here for a quick check, for a big quick check.
Right. So so when he beat Cena, that was shocking because everyone just thought that he was going to come in, lose to Cena, and be gone. And he beat Cena, and so not only was that a shocking moment because Cena lost, it was also oh, Brock is staying. Like, we're going to get more Brock, so that's why it was more of a shock back then. Now, you kind of expected Cena to lose. I didn't think Cena was going to beat Brock Lesnar. Like, that's not what Cena does,
I actually did this. But I couldn't think of like how they were going to go about doing it. It's real tough to book a Cena Brock Lesnar match and Cena go over. Like, how do you make? And the other thing about that match, it seems like, again, it took place in another vacuum. Like, John Cena got beat by Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's gone. Hey, next match he's gone up against AJ Styles. How about that? It's just like, okay. What?
Yes, I'm sorry. I think I misspoke. Yes, Brock did lose that match against Cena, but anyone who watched the match did not come away thinking about Cena losing that match. Like, that match was Lesnar's match that night,
Right.
So, though a lot of controversy, though, comes out of this weekend, out of all out, a major controversy. Apparently, guys, there are some dastardly deeds afoot because, according to the bastion of truth that is Ringside News, WWE has been accused of buying out AEW all-out seats to make the arena look empty.
This story, okay, to be fair to Ringside News, this was a story that was posted on X from Twitter users who said that they were told that by arena staff. Apparently they said that they asked that they were like, oh my gosh, we don't have why aren't there people in front of us? I heard it was sold out. And they said, oh, well, WWE bought all the seats so that so look emptier than it was.
That has got Tony Khan written all over it.
100% has Tony Khan written all over it. I bet it was the same Twitter accounts that we read the tweets from during All Out on the pay-per-view.
Oh my God, the Twitter said, this is a very good pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I am
Good
enjoying all of this quality pro wrestling. This is great. I mean, tremendous. And I'm not Tony Khan.
Tony's form is hilarious.
You know what's embarrassing about this? Ringside News should be embarrassed of themselves for running stories like this. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous.
It is so dumb. It is really, really dumb. But you know what? I think there might be an easier what do you call it? Explanation as to why there were so many empty seats. So this comes from Reddit. AEW All Out stinky experience. Please shower before events. Me and my girlfriend had floor seats at All Out in the NE2
Pause.
section.
That's a lie.
Well, what the heck are you doing? Bringing a late AEW show, man. What
right.
Are you? During 0 hour, we were met with a pungent smell that became unbearable. She has slight sensory smell issues, so I can understand. And you're bringing her to a pro wrestling show in AEW? Oh my gosh. I can usually put up with something slightly uncomfortable, but man, I had not smelled something that pungent. Good for him using pungent twice at a venue ever. It was so bad we had to go to fan services and request any possible alternative seating arrangement. We gave up our floor seats for worse seating with an obstructed view of the ring because an obstructed view was a better alternative than having to put up with whatever that smell was. Coming from a trading card game where players will get disqualified at events for bad hygiene, I really wish that was something that would be implemented into the concerts and shows. There's no excuse for anyone smelling that bad to the point where we had to give up the good seats we paid money for so that we can have a bearable experience for the next 5 to 6 hours. Please shower and wear deodorant. This reminded me one time I was at New York Comic Con one time and I got online. I got online for like one of the like the panels, like the wristband to go to the panel, and I really wanted to go to this one. The guy in front of me stank so bad. And I was in this line for like 2 hours, man. Like it was just, and like you didn't want to leave the line. But and I kept like looking back at the people behind me to be like, please don't think this is me, because I'm assuming that this travels beyond me. Like, no, like, don't you have that
Hilarious.
thing? Like if you're in a room and like someone smells, and you're like, please don't let them think this is me. Like
right.
When we went to Backlash, I'm sitting. I was sitting with Max was next to me, and then my buddy was next to Max. And Max the whole time is just looking around, and he has sensory things, so he's just smelling, and you could hear him like feeling comfortable. I kept leaning over me, like, "Are you good?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm okay. And then he'd go, and then he'd look nauseous, and I'd look. So there was a smell, and there were two smells actually. One of them was marijuana. There was a very strong smell of marijuana in the air.
I can't stand that smell.
No, and it like don't get me wrong. I have no problem with people smoking pot, but I don't like people smoking pot at a wrestling event in the middle of, it's like, take that to the bathroom or something at least. Don't do it here. But so there was pot, and then there was also a weird smell. Do you ever have an air fryer? Did anybody have an air fryer?
Yeah.
You know that smell you get when you realize you need to clean the air fryer out?
No, because I clean the air fryer after each use.
Oh,
I knew that was coming. What
do you just let your air fryer get full of gunk and food and nonsense?
Well, you clean it after like every third or fourth time. Like I have, because I use those paper.
Do you live in?
I use those filters.
He saw the Married with Children episode where Al Bundy never cleaned his barbecue grill.
No, that's a white person thing.
Like, that'll work. Oh, it is
that's
okay.
Yeah, that's why we don't clean it.
Black person thing too.
We don't clean it, and then we're like, no, it makes the hamburgers taste better. That's what you always say.
It does make the hamburgers taste better. By the way, do you each have a grill?
Yeah.
Yes.
Gas or charcoal?
Come on now, let's stop playing games. It's charcoal all day, all night.
Thank you. Thank you. My grill is. Oh, look at you, Mister.
And a smoker. I have a smoker. Oh, and a dehydrator. So yeah.
My charcoal grill is also an offset smoker. But I haven't used it as a smoker yet because it's still new. But I mean, I was just like, there's no way I am not getting a charcoal grill.
No, you have to have both for the best of both worlds. Because if you're doing steaks, it's propane all the way. If you're doing steaks, you got to do them on propane because you can't have steaks.
Why don't you just do them in the kitchen?
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, seriously. I mean, really. Just do them in the kitchen if you're gonna. Yeah, really. Gordon Ramsay.
Sides, finish it off in the oven. Yeah, me and Gordon Ramsay are both idiots.
Yeah.
No, if you're doing steaks on the grill or stuff like that, you want to do them on the propane. If you're doing hot dogs or hamburgers or chicken breasts or something, you do them on the charcoal. And if you're, and then you got the smoker and the dehydrator, dude. This is a good. My dad a couple days ago was he messaged us. He's like, "Hey, I'm smoking some venison tonight. You guys should come over. I'm smoking some venison." And I'm like, "Awesome, cool." So we went over and got the venison. Man, it was like jerky. I was so angry.
Oh God.
Because venison, if it's smoked right, can be great, but he just went a little too long, and it might as, like I said, it might as well have been jerky at that point.
AW Neckbeard's a mod extraordinaire says his barbecue is connected to natural gas.
Ooh,
that's really interesting.
Fancy.
Yeah, look at that.
Did you dig that well yourself, Beard?
Is that a Canada thing? Is that just a thing?
Must be.
Every house comes with free healthcare and a gas grill or something. Is that how it works?
Free healthcare and a natural gas grill. We don't give you much, but what we do give you, we give you happily. But
I like how they make barbecuing a science now. It's just like, keep it simple. Charcoal grill, that's it. Don't try to sell me on the propane and all the other nonsense.
I really want to use the smoker. So I've been watching all of these YouTube videos on barbecue. And, I'm looking up how to barbecue, or how to smoke a brisket. And my wife is like, can you please just do a pork butt first? Let's not, don't give a day of your life to do a thing that you might fail at.
No, she's right. She's right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I realized she was right very quickly.
Yeah, cooking meat for 18 hours is not cool.
18 hours. Some people cook for 20 something hours,
Those are the competitors, the barbecue competitors.
Oh gosh, these guys on YouTube, man, these barbecue YouTubers, just it's insane.
It's another world. It's the same thing with fishing. Somebody was telling me what kind of line do you use? Dude, I don't know what kind of line I use. I'm catching fish. I mean,
you know who's a grill master is WW Pro.
Oh, really?
When we all got together, he grilled up these tomahawk steaks that were insane, and he's got his turkey for Thanksgiving down to a science where he's injecting the liquid smoke into them, and
see what I mean?
He's got it. Yeah, he's got it way down.
I sent you that there was a restaurant by us that opened up, and they had the temperature guide on their sheet, and it said it was given all the temperatures, and it was medium well is blah blah blah, and medium rare is blah blah blah, and then when it got to well, it just said just don't next to it.
What, Dad? What if they want well done? We will politely ask them to leave. My goodness. All right, so we got a couple more super chats. Liga J81 for $5 says Brock scene for Thor 4. Brock no Yellow Man and kids power up ending. Now Brock smash prototype for reminding. Oh goodness.
Did you see? Awful. I do want to get your thoughts about this. Did you see on SmackDown? And I didn't see this on WrestlePalooza, but apparently it was on there too. Someone had a sign in the crowd that said, you don't belong here, and we all know why. Yeah. And they held it up during Brock's entrance and stuff. But she was in the freaking second row.
Yeah. And her sign wasn't taken. So that's very important. Free speech reigns in WWE, apparently.
We were talking about how WrestlePalooza got a C from ESPN, and I think me and Beard at least picked up on the same thing, which is, how is it possible that WWE's own broadcast partner can give them a C grade, but no independent, quote unquote, independent wrestling journalist can say a damn thing about how boring AEW's pay-per-views are because they'll lose access.
5 hours long.
Yeah. And all of them are going to glaze it and say it was great, because if they don't, they're going to lose access. They're not going to be able to ask their questions. They're going to get copyright strikes. They're going to get shut down if they don't. But so I mean, the fact that ESPN, their own broadcast partner, gave them a C, and like you said, they didn't take it, does say something about WWE being a little bit more secure. They feel like they don't, they don't have to go out and say, get ESPN to shut up or something. They can let them do it. Who cares?
It's also a great motivator. I mean, Triple H or anybody in the executive level sees that there's a C. They're going to at least try to make the next outing for ESPN an A+. And that's what you kind of want. You know what I mean? Get better.
Well, after I get to these next 2 super chats, I want to talk a bit about the rating that they gave it. BT23 for $10 says, gave each show C's. AEW was worst match of the night with the TBS title, and just put a lot of focus with match that was the opener, which was Cope and Christian versus FTR. WWE best match was the Raw Women's title, but Triple H fell short with surprises. I mean, not everybody needs surprise, but he did say there would be surprises.
There were surprises. I don't know.
I mean, hey, Stephanie got put in the Hall of Fame. That was a surprise.
It was Undertaker was there. I'd say that having Heyman do the thing with Brock was a bit of a surprise.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've just trained myself to understand what surprise means in wrestling now, because I could have, if this was back during like the Monday Night Wars and they said surprises and that guy got this, I have been disappointed. But after living with 20 years of WWE surprises, quote unquote, I understand what a WWE surprise means. And a WWE surprise usually means that, Undertaker's going to come out and announce the attendance or something. That's usually what a WWE surprise is.
Or put Stephanie McMahon in the Hall of Fame, apparently.
Or put Stephanie McMahon in the Hall of Fame.
By the way, she can't be the headliner, but I feel like she's the headliner.
I think Cena's the headliner.
Yeah, she's going to be the headliner.
No, I think Cena's going to be the headliner. You think
they'll both be headliners. They'll come out together.
Like, you don't think they're going to give it to Cena after the year after his big, unless Saudi wants Cena. Saudi might have paid good money to get Cena's induction.
If John Cena goes into the Hall of Fame in Saudi Arabia, I digress.
Speak your mind, Marv.
No, I don't know. Redditosaurus for $5. Since a lot of people think Bronson Reed is legitimately fat, can we say F it and repackage him as the Australian Brontosaurus Big Belly Braun? I would go for it. I think that's marketable.
It's nice to see different shades and shapes, in professional wrestling. It always needs that.
Yeah,
we're just missing small people now.
Well, that's the thing. You need guys who are like Bronson Reed fat or Dusty fat or even Kevin Owens fat. You don't need guys who are Eddie Kingston fat.
Right. Unless they're brawlers, bruisers, legitimate ones. You know what I mean?
But you know what? Like, I feel like if Eddie Kingston wore like a sleeveless T-shirt and jeans or something like that, it'd be
Kevin
better.
Owens.
Well, yeah, that's true. He'd just be Kevin Owens at that point.
Kevin Owens has arms. Like Kevin Owens you can tell Kevin Owens at least lives.
He has mass to his arms.
Eddie Kingston does not look like he spends one day in the gym. I don't think he's ever touched a barbell. That dude does not, like his arms are skinnier than mine and he's bigger, it's embarrassing. And
do you know how much cigarettes weigh this?
Curly.
Bad boys are not. Yeah, really.
The fact that he came out wearing that Dusty shirt, which I didn't even pick up on during the show.
I didn't pick up on that either.
Yeah, he wore it said Claudio sucks eggs. And I guess it's because everyone has been comparing him to Dusty Rhodes recently for some reason. So
because he's fat,
right?
That's it. They've been comparing him to Dusty Rhodes for like 6 years.
Well, it used to be Mick Foley. You remember they used to compare him to Mick Foley, and now it's Dusty Rhodes. I don't know if the Mick Foley thing wore off or maybe it's both. I don't know. Yeah, Kevin Owens, unknown sample in the chat brought up. Kevin Owens looks great right now. Have you seen him recently?
No, I haven't
since
seen
his
him.
injury, dude must have lost 50 pounds. He looks svelte.
Here's Beard's prediction: Stephanie McMahon, Manu, Tonga Kid, Sapphire, Road Dogg, Evolution, and Lay Cool. Honestly, I could see that being the actual, because now you have to have someone from the Samoan world, like the Samoan dynasty, go in.
Yep. Screenshot that. I think it's going to happen.
Seriously,
he posted
I think
on Twitter.
some of these might. I think is Michelle McCool in already?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But Layla L is not.
Yeah.
Also, Evolution is not going in before Batista goes in by himself.
Maybe, I don't know, but Batista's been weird about it though. Like they've tried to induct him like 3 times, and he keeps turning. There was one year that he accepted, and then they couldn't do it because of COVID, and then he turned him down after that whole time. So nothing you can do about that. Personally, if they want to induct Sweet Sapphire, I have no problem with that.
Oh, please induct Sapphire.
She worked at a place called Central Hardware in St. Louis, and people used to go for years after she retired. You could go into Central Hardware and she'd tell you all kinds of stories about Dusty Rhodes and stuff.
Sapphire covers the African American induction and the posthumous induction all in one, and the female induction.
Yeah.
DEI.
Sapphire deserves to be in there as much as some of the people in there.
James Dudley, yeah, she deserves to be in there as much as quite a Coco Beware, I'd say, is about at the level of a Sweet Sapphire.
Coco Beware is the one that I always like. Whenever someone's like, "Oh, that guy's going in the Hall of Fame," I always say Coco Beware is in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Do you suppose they inducted Coco Beware not really based on his WWE career, but on his like Memphis career?
That's what they said.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they say. James Dudley's the one that always gets me, because everyone's like, "Oh, but you like if I always bring it, when I bring it up, people are like, he was the first black promoter," and it's like, dude, he was Vince McMahon's limo driver. He was a name that Vince put on a piece of paper to get a promoter's license. He was not a promoter of professional wrestling.
Wait, he's in the Hall of Fame when?
He was like what? He was inducted with like Andre, dude.
Oh,
First class. He was one of the first people inducted in the Hall of Fame, and he was
Andre Snuka and
Vince McMahon's limo driver. Yeah.
I heard after his speech, Vince threw him the keys and was just like, "Park it around back."
Look at Lisa B says, "Awful is going to get the show canceled now that the FCC is on to Marvin." No, the FCC and I are cool. Like they cite my work in lawsuits. So.
He's uncancelable now.
Marv is a government shill. So
clearly.
A Fed shill.
Farthest thing from a government shill. All right. So in the I called it news of the day.
Yep.
I said it during the show. I said he's gotta work with AJ at some point before the end, right?
Yep, we get it at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock.
7 o'clock, 8 in the morning. I can't wait.
You guys gonna watch it live?
No.
No.
0% chance.
Yeah, no, I'll make a nice breakfast and watch it like at home, like on the couch, but I don't think we're gonna do a live stream during it.
I think that's what Crown Jewel is now, right? Crown Jewel is just like all the matches that no one really cares. Like I said, they're doing Seth versus Cody, I was
just gonna bring that up because I want Awful to like have a fit.
Yeah, Awful. It's a good. I have no problem watching that match. I'm not waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning for that match, but I have no problem.
7 o'clock in the morning for you.
Yeah, I know. So, but Awful, go rant now. Hurry
about Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
How many more times, gentlemen? How many more times? I mean,
3 years. 3 years.
Okay, here you go. All right, here comes the shilling, folks. Here comes the defense.
What? Okay.
Because I have an opinion. I know it's been 3 years. I know how to count. I mean, but that doesn't mean it could be 10 years. It could be 15 years. It doesn't matter. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people in the chat right now, is not that interesting for me to be invested in, to want to watch. Cody hasn't really lit the world on fire since he became champion. He's better at the chase. It's almost looking like Seth Rollins, he doesn't even know what his character is except being a leader of the Vision. All right, that's great. Now what? Because they're going to Crown Jewel in Perth and possibly face it off against each other. Big deal. What's the stakes?
Okay,
are both titles on the line? Go ahead.
First off, saying that the chat's not going to like it when you're talking about Seth Rollins, that's an easy bet. You don't. That's not.
I'm talking about Cody Rhodes, my friend, as well. Cody Rhodes is involved in that equation as well.
Right, but they're going to have a good match. It's on at 8:00 in the morning. This is obviously a throwaway pay-per-view they're doing for Perth to get, because they want to make people happy in Australia.
You just buttressing my point. That's all.
But what? No, but what's? I don't know. But why are you complaining?
No, I'm not complaining.
You care so much that you called me a 12-year-old because I said
no. You called me a grump dick.
I did call you. Well, you are a grump dick.
You're 12 years old.
I stated a fact. That's something that is true that you are. You admit that you're grumpy.
Right. You're stating a fact. I'm stating my personal opinion, and there's where the two shall never meet because I'm telling you that Cody Rhodes to me is not good.
Awful. I think you and I are a lot more like honest with ourselves about WWE a lot of times. Like you and I would be like, I typically be like, that match sucked. I don't like. Whereas the other two people that are typically on this panel are always trying to find the good in everything WWE does.
Hey, maybe you know what? This is what makes me angry.
You got him stuttering.
What makes me angry. Okay. No, right. I'm sorry. Because you can't tell me what I like and don't like. Every time I say something that I like, people are like, oh, you're just shilling for WWE. You're a Fed stan. You sound like AEW fans. Just because you have to feel like you have to go off and say bad things just to make sure that you don't seem biased because that's who I am doesn't mean that I can't enjoy what I enjoy.
See,
why do you
just 3 minutes ago this man
I said this specifically to get this reaction out.
I know you don't
yeah.
But
chill.
But I'm telling you, that's what it sounds like whenever I say I like anything. I get 100 AEW fans in my comments saying, oh, you're just a Fed show. You can't. How do you know what I like? You know why I like it? You know why I'm going to like Seth versus Cody? Because I've never gotten to watch a Seth versus Cody match while it happens live with my kid sitting next to me, who is going to make the match 10 times better because he's going to be
there. You have it. There you have it.
So
there you have it, my friend.
I'm not saying you should like it. Why are you telling me I shouldn't like it?
I didn't. Ho. Stop right there. I'd like to know any word, any text that I've sent to you saying like, oh, well, you shouldn't like this shit. It's garbage. What's that? I said if I...
Do you want to make the argument better or do you want to be honest? Because I was just trying to make the argument better.
Yeah. I can do both. See,
okay.
I can be honest and make the argument better. The fact is that Awful Wrestling doesn't really like what Cody Rhodes is doing right now. Doesn't really like what Seth Rollins is doing right now. I am out. In fact, that's exactly what I said in the private chat. I am out. And then I get met with, you're a grump dick. You enjoy wrestling with your 12-year-old son. I don't have a 12-year-old son, my friend. Yeah.
To be fair, you are a grump dick.
You are though. That's your whole
grump dick.
That's your
pretty much a grump dick.
What the fuck is a grump dick?
I don't know. But when he said it, I was like, yeah.
How am I a grump dick, right? How am I a grump dick? But Beard agrees with me on a lot of things that I say. He's not a grump dick.
No, it's because Beard is a wonderful man. You're just grumpy.
He is a wonderful man. But I also believe he's a grump dick too. Okay,
delightful cinnamon bun.
Yeah.
You can be wonderful and grumpy. I never said you weren't wonderful, awful. I love you, but you can be grumpy. Yeah,
but I never once did I say that you guys should really hate this match. I don't like the matchup. No, I don't appreciate it.
You have gotten on my case for liking things in the past that you don't like. You have said like, oh come on, that wasn't good.
Well,
that was terrible.
Because what you do is you go, to be fair, and then you go, they haven't wrestled in 3 years, so enough time has passed. I'm telling you, they're both champions.
Why didn't you say
my son likes it?
I have a question. Why didn't you say, oh, we're doing this again when you heard John Cena versus AJ Styles? Because they wrestled the exact same amount of times on pay-per-view.
I just said this maybe 35 minutes ago. I said it's like these matches with John Cena are taking place in a vacuum. There's no real buildup. It's just like, hey, we're doing a retirement tour. I understand all that. But come on, man. His last storyline involved him turning heel and then abruptly not being a heel and being a babyface. And now he's facing Brock Lesnar in a match that took place And we'll see. We'll watch. It will have taken place in a vacuum. Next up, AJ Styles. Next up, it's not that interesting to me as a storyline sort of thing.
So you're saying that there's not going to be a follow-up to, so you're going the Dave Meltzer route and saying there's not going to be a follow-up to Brock Lesnar versus John Cena.
I'm assuming there's not going to be a Dave Meltzer. I'm not charging people $14.99 to tell them that there won't be a matchup or something like that, or a rematch. I'm not like Dave Meltzer.
I'm pretty sure they're going to end up in War Games, and that's going to be your payoff.
Awesome. Great.
Wait. I'm sorry, guys. I have to interject because
sure.
I just saw this post that Beard shared where its pastor's son held 4 people captive in basement for a year. And I'm like, why was he sharing this? And then I realized the guy who would imprisoned people in the basement is wearing an AEW jacket.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. I gotta pull this up because this is really funny.
What did he do? Make the people in the basement watch AEW Dynamite every Wednesday?
You know he had to have, right? If he's that much of a fan that he bought the jacket.
And by the way, to Boris in the chat who said that you sound like AEW fans every time. Let me explain something. I am not saying you're just like AEW fans. What I'm saying is that if you use that argument, you're going to make me angry the way AEW fans do. Now, here's the secret. Here's the secret. Awful and Marv know that, and they do it on purpose to get me angry. That's
but I will
get
also
better
say,
this.
I realized this the other day. When you and Kevin use that, well, I didn't care for it personally, but the crowd was really into it. You are using the Dave Meltzer, Dave Meltzer excuse. No, that is exactly the Dave Meltzer deathmatch excuse. Well, I don't like it, but the people love it.
No, but okay,
it's perfect for that crowd.
But
5 stars.
I'll explain. If you really want me to explain it, I'll explain it. I was going to wait for Kev, but my thing about it is that when I am watching a WWE, let's look at WWE on Saturday, right? As I said before, you had 4 matches that I thought were good to great. I thought the tag match I thought the Usos versus Braun Breaker and the Bronson Reed was good. I thought John Cena versus Brock Lesnar was good. I thought Cody and Drew was a good match, regardless of the fact that I didn't like the ending. I still thought the match itself was good. And I thought Io versus Stephanie was great. And then I had one match in the middle that I didn't care for. Okay. You go to the other side and I watched a 6-hour pay-per-view where the same things that we complained about happening in the AJ Styles the AJ Lee CM Punk mixed tag match happened in 4 different matches. And they were supposed to be taken seriously. And everyone tells me those matches are great. Okay, so what I'm saying is that if all that can be condensed into one match, I can deal with it. I don't care. I understand that not everything's for me, and WWE gets that kind of leeway because they put on 4 matches that night that entertained me, while AEW does not get that leeway because I only liked 3 out of the 9 matches on the show, and only one of them was one that I really liked and thought was worth me being there. So there is a difference between a company that can give me 4 out of 5 matches that I enjoy, 1 match that I understand is not for me. I'm going to give them that leeway, and I'm not going to get hung up on the 1 negative match that I didn't like because I thought 4 of the matches were good. So why get hung up on that one thing that I didn't like? When you do that, what you're doing is you end up just you're making more noise. You're making it sound like the pay-per-view was worse than it was, and it wasn't terrible. It was the better pay-per-view that day. But when you add to that noise, then you're making it sound, because what ends up happening, like I said earlier, is that all the pro WWE guys don't want to sound biased, so they find the one thing in the pay-per-view they didn't like. And then all the pro AEW guys are only talking about the bad stuff that happened on the pay-per-view. And then it just sounds like the entire pay-per-view sucked because nobody's talking about the fact that there were 4 matches that were pretty good on that show. And it's just ridiculous to me that we get hung up on the one thing we didn't like when, 80% of the show I like. I'm not going to get hung up on the one thing I didn't. And that's all I gotta say. That's my opinion.
I'm sorry, Dis. I was distracted. Could you repeat that?
Yes. You want me to start over at the beginning?
Yeah, just start over from the beginning.
So
halfway through that, I planned that joke. But there it is. Pastor's son
Unbelievable.
held 4 people captive in basement for years, and there's the jacket.
Shout out to the Law and Crime Network for putting up that thumbnail. You have made content gold. Because now I got to look at that. And I hope you and Trish look at that on Crime and Punishment at some point.
Well, look, he's got like a chain around his neck, and somebody's making like a fist. I wonder if he's taking a picture with a wrestler. Like, is this like a picture that he took at a show with a wrestler?
Eddie Kingston's next to him, just offering.
Well, the arms look pretty small, so maybe.
Lord.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
But you also have a link in there, Beard, for everybody to see that particular Law and Crime video.
All booty bitches and bacon with big boobies for $2 says Cena versus Styles. Send me up. Awful, you're a hater.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, fine. You know, I got nothing to say. I mean, I won't be as interested as this or Max or
dude. And by the way,
Ted.
I'm not interested enough to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning for it. Okay, but I guess I also don't expect everything to be a home run. You know what I mean? Like,
how about
my expectations?
How about the fact that ESPN graded the show on their own network and gave it a C, and then some people, I know you and Kimmy was saying in the chat, we couldn't find confirmation of this, but some people I guess were saying that ESPN was also unhappy with the viewership for that, and for that you have no one to blame but ESPN.
Oh yeah, they made it ridiculous to try to get like the fact. Like I said, I just got on it. I didn't have a problem, but I saw people in the chat having a problem with it. So clearly people were having issues. ESPN, the fact that was supposed to be, I looked it up after we had our conversation, Marv, and it was supposed to be that it launched next year. And instead, they all of a sudden decided we're going to launch it this month. We're not going to make deals with all our providers. We're going to push it out as fast as possible. And we're going to get a WWE pay-per-view on there. Of course, it's going to not get the viewers that you want it to get. I don't know what you expected.
It's almost like going into business with Disney is not a great idea.
Like I agree with you about. I agree with you. We were talking earlier, and Marv said that it can affect their perception. It can affect their reach over time. People have harder.
Nobody watches ESPN, and nobody is going to pay for this thing, or at least they're not going to pay for it until if this NFL deal goes through, because I'm not altogether convinced that that's actually going to happen. But I'm sorry, like ESPN has such low viewership. Major League Baseball abandoned it and called it a shrinking, irrelevant platform. And now WWE went there from one of the major streaming services. I don't understand the logic behind it, because you're going to have fewer people watching your product, even though they paid you a ton of Bob Iger money up front.
I'll tell you what I think that their logic is. Their logic is that ESPN probably told them, hey, look, we're going to have deals with every cable provider. We're going to have deals with YouTube TV. We're going to have deals with Hulu. And I believe that ESPN will. I believe by the time January comes along, they'll have this figured out and it won't be a big deal. Like Peacock, when it started, was a huge hassle and they didn't know what they were doing. And it was terrible, but they figured it out. And I think ESPN is going to figure it out. And by the time Royal Rumble comes along, I think anybody that has ESPN on their cable channel, on their cable package, will be able to watch it no problem. But they shouldn't. The fact that they did it early is the problem. The fact that they must have heard that little loophole with Peacock, and ESPN just blew their load and said, we're going to do it now, and give them a bunch of money to do it, because this, like I said, I think though, by the time January comes along, it should be figured out and it shouldn't be that hard. The fact on the other end of it, the fact that Dave Meltzer acting like downloading an app was rocket science and going on for
old man.
3 days about it. Come on,
it might have been. He is a very old man.
He would not shut up about how hard it was to download the ESPN app.
I just don't think that, in terms of getting eyes on the product, that's going to be the best thing in the world to do.
They should have given away for free. Let's face it. That's what ESPN
should
have done.
Yeah. As a first run. Yeah.
Yeah. They should have put the first one on free. That would have been the smart thing to do. And now that it didn't work out well, they should put it on ESPN. They should. Wouldn't it be funny if Wednesday night they're just like, you know what, we're going to show WrestlePalooza on ESPN, just to mess with people, you know?
Yeah, it's. I mean, but didn't they tell people like if you have ESPN on cable, like you'll get this pay-per-view, and it just didn't happen?
They didn't. They didn't. There were definitely some like.
I definitely know people who thought they had it because they had it on cable.
There
and
were
they
definitely
could not
some.
Watch it.
There were definitely some third-party journalists who said that if you had ESPN, you'd be fine and you'd get it. And I do think that is what is going to happen eventually. But these deals take time, and if you fast forward the thing to where you were supposed to launch in January and you launch in September instead, you're not going to have the deals. That's just the way it works. You can't cut off 3 months and expect everyone on earth to follow you, you know. But that's what Disney does always. Disney always thinks that everyone's just going to bow to them and do whatever they say. And they're learning quickly that doesn't work that way anymore.
It's a
better deal than Max.
I don't like the concept of sports entertainment on a sports network to begin with.
My friend, ESPN stands for Entertainment and Sports Programming.
The E stands for entertainment. They've shown Any Given Sunday on that network. They had sitcoms on that network. Like that's what you know. I didn't realize that it stood for entertainment. I thought it stood for electronics. So the fact that it does stand for entertainment, you know, I'm not going to go all Ricochet on it.
I'm looking this up.
Hey, Ricochet, you're just to let you know, you're in good company with.
Oh yeah, you're right. Entertainment and Sports Programming Network.
So,
all right, you got me there.
And also, as you and Kumia pointed out, AWA was on ESPN. So I mean, it's not.
And it was great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I stand corrected. But it is funny though that they gave it a C.
Mm-hmm.
It is funny they gave it a C. Like that made me laugh.
Well, what's really funny about that too is that Meltzer has been going on for weeks about how ESPN was going to be unfair and how they weren't covering AEW. And then they had somebody who almost exclusively covers AEW review WrestlePalooza.
Right.
Ryan Damon, the Raw and F thing was fake. That was fake. That was not true.
But now speaking of you know, finding a home with a streaming service, AEW might be doing that very soon. Speaking of, on the Fightful Select Q&A section of the Backstage Report, Sean Ross Sapp revealed that AEW is no longer locked into an exclusive deal with Warner Bros. Discovery. This comes amid ongoing uncertainty around WBD's future, including rumors of potential restructuring or a full sale that could affect programming across TBS, TNT, or True TV. Yes, they can. They do not have exclusivity with WBD any longer. They had that as a result of their last deal. Whenever they added Collision, they had exclusivity. They don't now, so they can talk to other partners. Guys, nothing says we value you so much like being like, hey guys, you can go seek representation elsewhere. Feel free. You don't let us stop you. You know, I hear Netflix is looking.
Yeah, right. Warner Brothers opened the door and is leading you out the door polite on their jacket, and in the next 4 or 5 months it'll be like, you're out in the cold. It's a damn shame, but it is what it is.
I don't think that they're talking about
AEW's going to go the same way as Excite.
From what I could tell from reading this, Sapp says they could hypothetically say, here's another show that we're shopping in the event that so and so happens. So like if they came up with, for some ungodly reason, another show.
Shockwave.
If they came up with AEW Shockwave, they could potentially shop it around to other places. So,
not good news for AEW. Would we agree?
Good job, Marv. You said it before. Boris got you in the chat with an actually.
Oh, I said it before Captain Know It All. That's good to know. But yeah, no, like so they can negotiate with other places. So that is, Warner Brothers is a big question mark right now, because right now you've got the situation where they might split it into two companies, which is what the plan is at the moment. But now if it gets bought, because if Paramount buys it, Paramount wants the whole thing. They don't just want the movies and the streaming.
Right.
Paramount's interested in the entire thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand why they would be interested in the entire thing.
Are you kidding me? The Dark Knight Returns?
There's
Dark Knight
Yeah, but
Rises?
no, you can get
property?
but you can get that with just the movies and streaming. They also want the TV and the cable networks and TBS and all this, that, and the other thing.
There's value in TNT and TBS. They have a huge footprint, and if used correctly, I mean, that's the thing. Is like they're acting this whole like pretend thing that we've been going through for years, where TNT and TBS are prestigious for wrestling. That's ridiculous. I'm not gonna play that game anymore and pretend like they're the same companies they were back then, but they still have a strong footprint. So they're going to be valuable to anybody who wants to buy them, because you could just throw on all of your slop content TBS already does, and just have somewhere to run reruns and get advertising profits, so
Alan Thomas also saying, please take Mortal Kombat away from WBD. Yes, I concur, because that last Mortal Kombat movie was putrid. I didn't like it either, and everyone said it was the best thing ever. And why? I didn't understand that. That was a moment where I was just like, is it me? Am I like, is there something broken inside me? Am I incapable of joy? Because this was not a good movie. There wasn't even a Mortal Kombat in it.
No, you know what it felt like? It felt like the Tomb Raider movie. Remember the Tomb Raider movie was just the most boring plotting thing, and it's just like, we're going to remember it. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what Mortal Kombat felt like. I'd much rather have the crappy, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, or the TV show, or that crap that we got in the 90s.
Too bad you will die.
Much rather.
It's the greatest bad movie in the world.
Use a green screen for half of it, actually, which makes it that much better. So,
what do you think they're going to do with? How do you think the Street Fighter movie with all the wrestlers is going to turn out? Think that's going to be good?
I think it's going to be a mess.
I think it'll be
so many characters. There's so
yeah.
I think. Have you ever seen like the Street Fighter 2 anime movie where Blanca is like there for like a scene? They're walking through like an underground fighting ring, and like Blanca is fighting Dalzim or something like that. I think there's gonna be a lot of that.
But you know what? I'd rather a fun mess than the Chun-Li movie that we got a few years ago.
Oh, with Lana Lang as Chun-Li? Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I'd much rather have just like a goofy, fun ADHD mess than deal with them trying to get dark and serious and good. You know what I mean? That's the worst. Is when
Johnny Kimura is right, by the way. MK1 was this game that just came out. They brought in the multiverse.
Oh boy.
Which, like, boy, did you read the room wrong. And Bison tried to run over Ryu in a truck, and that's how the movie ends. So, all right. So, remember when I said like I really wanted a certain thing to happen when it was announced that WrestleMania was going to Saudi? Well, GC promoter Brett Lauderdale, who oversees the collective during WrestleMania week, says he's been approached by two organizations that stage events in the Middle East region who have offered to host GCW. He emphasized that with the 2027 WrestleMania 18 months away, it is still too early to say whether such plans are realistic, but Lauderdale acknowledged that there would likely be restrictions on how their shows are presented if they were held in Saudi Arabia, much like No Effie. No, unless we're moving the show to the top of a building, I don't think Effie is going to be involved.
Just give him a ring with a big giant target in the middle. Look, we even made a ring for you. Here, you can.
They might just they might get off the plane. Like the GCW roster might get off the plane. The Middle East just drops a net over them. It was all just a trap. I don't understand. Like, do they even know what GCW is in the Middle East?
I bet they'd like it. I bet they'd like GCW over there.
Would they be allowed to do all the blood and guts stuff over there? I don't think they would.
I think as long as women weren't involved, I don't think they'd have a problem. I don't think Saudi's like big on, censorship and stuff. I think they're more. I
think they think GCW is an oil company.
Maybe. Either way, I don't see. I don't understand. You'd think that WWE would take this opportunity. If I'm WWE and I have these Saudi shows for WrestleMania, that means these shows are going on around noon, right? That means they're getting off by 6. This leaves you a great opportunity to do something in the States too. Put on NXT on Saturday night at 7 o'clock in Las Vegas. And then the next day, put on Evolve at 7 o'clock in Las Vegas and have the Hall of Fame be, just somewhere centralized in the United States so they can actually get money in the States and overseas at the same time. It would also counteract anything that AEW is apparently talking about doing, which it would be ridiculous if AEW tried to do something on WrestleMania weekend, and it would centralize all the indie stuff in one area. That seems like the way to do it.
Do you think ROH will go to the Middle East?
Oh gosh, that would be hilarious.
Will Tony be like, well, we have to honor tradition?
I would love it if they did, but no, as much as I think it's a terrible idea, I do think AEW is going to run a show that weekend. I think the temptation is too much.
The cost of shuttling the entire GCW roster over to the Middle East. I mean, Nick Gage in the Middle East, because he just came back to GCW. He wasn't in there for a while, but he came back in August apparently. I can't imagine that Nick Gage is allowed to travel internationally.
Oh no!
By the way, this is going to surprise you. I like Nick Gage.
Really?
Like, I don't like watch his matches, but like I know he's really good to his fans, and I like that.
Okay.
So, and when you have a Hollywood actor in a match with you, and he's just like, just don't cut me, man. And the first thing that you do is cut him. Like, respect.
Are you talking about
you, Nick Gage?
You talking about Stingray?
No, I'm talking about Arquette, David Arquette.
Oh yeah, okay, I forgot about that.
He was like, "You just don't cut me." The first thing Nick Gage does is take a pizza cutter and just slice his head open.
Good for him. I don't mind. Honestly, I don't like the hardcore wrestlers that really live the gimmick and stick with it. I don't have a problem with them. It's not my thing, right? But like, I don't necessarily have a problem. If you can make your money that way and you don't mind doing it, I mean, make your money. I'm never gonna fault somebody on finding their niche.
It's just I don't understand
a rooftop death match.
I don't understand this need to follow WrestleMania around like the little fish that swims underneath the shark.
It's their biggest payday of the year. I mean, they get more money doing that than they do the entire rest of the year. I get it.
But here's, what I really can't stand are the people that were like, how dare WWE go to Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Look what they're doing to the indies. I'm like, they don't give a damn.
Right.
WWE has they have no reason to support GCW,
Like, yeah, they're glomming off of their event. It's no. So, all right. You had a scoop that you wanted to bring up.
Yeah. You want to talk about that? Why don't we bring up the pick? Yeah, there you go. All right. So this is a bit of news, Awful. You should listen.
Breaking news.
When we saw MJF, we saw MJF come out in this beautiful outfit on Saturday, and both of us were like, "Oh, you know what? He's wearing white. That's actually kind of smart, right? It's a tax match. He's wearing white. He's wearing a lot of clothes. The gloves were weird, and the the long pants were weird. Like, it was weird that he was doing it, but we're like, okay, it makes sense. Apparently, there's a bigger story behind this. So, MJF, he did Happy Gilmore.
Are you allowed to say where you got this information from, or do you have to keep that a secret?
Either way, I'll just tell you it's reliable. I'll say
you told me the source, and I do know the source is reliable.
Yeah. So MJF, he did Happy Gilmore 2 earlier, like late last year, early this year, and he apparently made I wouldn't say good friends, but he made a good impression on Adam Sandler. And Marv, being a movie connoisseur here, I think you can probably say that is a very, if you're an actor in Hollywood, if you want an easy gig, become good friends with Adam Sandler. Would you say that's probably correct?
Yeah, you could be in a bunch of no effort movies on Netflix.
Right. And get vacations and get to travel the world and
Yeah.
make money. You know, it is a good gig, especially for a guy like MJF who wants to break into the movie industry. So, he was becoming good friends with Adam Sandler. Well, apparently somebody didn't love that he was becoming friends with Adam Sandler. And that man was Tony Khan. And when Tony Khan found out that he was becoming close to Adam Sandler, he started calling him constantly while he was on the set of Happy Gilmore 2. And it became an issue.
Jilted lover.
When Tony Khan found out that he had a couple days off, he brought him in back to AEW so he could get beat up by Roderick Strong. And MJF showed back up at the movie, and he had bruises. And apparently they had to not shoot with him for a few days because of his bruises. And they were very pissed about that. But Tony Khan didn't care because MJF came to him recently with another movie deal, which, by the way, was in his contract when he signed his contract.
That's an important part of the story. When he re-signed with AEW, it was part of his contract that he can leave when he wants to go do a movie.
Right. It was a big deal, too, because that was part of the reason that he didn't go to WWE. It's because he would have more freedom to do these kind of things. And so he went to Tony Khan and he said, "Hey, I got another movie coming up. Here's the date that I need to be gone. So just prepare for it." Then Tony Khan immediately booked him in Mexico, weeks and weeks and weeks on end. He had him start feuds with different wrestlers in CMLL. He made sure that he was going down there with the idea being like, "Oh, are you an actor or are you a wrestler?" That
was the big thing that you told me that I thought was interesting, is that he has this Vince Senior complex with Hulk Hogan. Be like, "Well, are you a movie star? Or are you a wrestler, kid?
Are you a wrestler or are you going to be an actor?" That's apparently that line has been uttered more than once. Are you going to be a wrestler or are you going to be an actor? And MJF, trying to be, he's trying to kind of be the company man, says, "You know what? I'm a wrestler. So I'll go to Mexico. I'm not going to yell about it. I'll go to MLW. I'm not going to yell about it." The
phrase that you used when you first explained this to me was that Tony was trying to, quote, put him in his place.
Put him in his right. The phrase that I was given was dick measuring contest, where it's Tony trying to show how powerful he is backstage, that he owns these people. They're his, which kind of goes into our statement of them being toys. That seems to be more reality than we like to think. So
now he comes back, right? He comes back to the movie set with scars, or not scars, but bruises and stuff like that. And so then didn't they then put it in writing for this next movie?
Yes.
That so go ahead.
So that's what I was about to get to. So after the whole incident with what happened at the last movie, they wanted it in writing that he was not going to be bruised or scarred or get a haircut. That was a big one too. And they had no problem with the haircut, but Tony goes, "You know what? I think this Mark Briscoe match, I think it needs a stipulation. So why don't we put tax in it and tables? Are you a wrestler or are you an actor, MJF? Which one are you? So MJF shows up to work on Saturday wearing clothes from head to toe and has elbow length gloves on with elbow pads to cover up every bit of his body that could get scarred up or bruised or get cuts on him, because he said, "Okay, fine. You want me to wrestle? That's no problem. I'm going to come in a bodysuit. Deal with it."
Jesus.
So yes, and as our chat pointed out, it is true. Apparently, MJF is leaving to do a movie. That is why he lost. That's why the whole thing happened. But yeah, if you wanted a reason for why he's wearing those clothes, that's why he's wearing those clothes.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your scoop. You can go spread it all around the internet if you want. But it is. It was given to me that there is a big dick measuring contest going on backstage, and that Tony does not like the fact that MJF wants to go off and be an actor, despite the fact that he put it in his contract. So,
yes, you being the scooper, and Marv, you knowing about the business of this stuff. How long do you guys think is MJ? Do you believe that MJF because remember, he started off as an entertainer, a song and dance kid back in the day. Do you think once he gets the acting bug, he's like, if this Tony Khan gig isn't working out for me, I've always got Hollywood to fall back. Do you think he'll just leave wrestling?
If the door opens and he starts getting more movie roles, I think he will leave wrestling in a heartbeat. Like he's going to go where the money. He's going to go where the money is. And look, The Rock learned there's a lot more money for a lot less work in Hollywood. And if he gets in good with Adam Sandler, and now suddenly he's in every Adam Sandler movie, maybe he gets in good with Netflix. Netflix gives him his own thing or gives him a supporting role in something else, a bigger role than he had in Happy Gilmore. His days in wrestling would be numbered. I truly believe that.
Especially considering that he signed with AEW. Like, he's going to stick around for AEW and get that guaranteed money. But he has to know that, especially with the way he's being used, there's no way he's going to get a giant contract offer from WWE when this contract's up. Right? There's no way.
3 years too late on that one.
Right. He had his opportunity to get it, and he passed it up. He went to AEW. So now,
put a funky ass tattoo on his ankle. Dummy.
He got it removed, didn't he? But if I'm MJF and I have Adam Sandler in my ear telling me, "Hey man, we like you. We think you could be," I would be all over it. Forget AEW, especially with Tony, kind of playing with him like this and trying to pull.
If he's pulling this crap, then it's like, well, then why would I be loyal to you?
Right. I mean, I say what you want about MJF. I'm sure he'll be a fine actor. He was a good actor in wrestling. I'm sure he'll be a fine actor. He was fine in Happy Gilmore. He'll be fine. He'll do his job and he'll be serviceable, and he's funny and he's good looking. He'll do fine in acting. I honestly hope that's probably the best thing for him too. Not have to live a life getting injured constantly and all that crap. I'd take it in a heartbeat. Yeah.
I think he almost seems kind of like he's becoming injury prone, because hasn't he been hurt like a whole bunch of times?
A few, but I also think that he might be more.
Look,
I think he'd be more willing to say, "I can't go in there and do this," as opposed to a guy like Mark Briscoe, who's going to fight through every injury and that kind of thing. I think that MJF is more likely to be like, "Hey, my ankle hurts. I don't think I'm going to go in there tonight."
But so after when The Rock fought Cena at the WrestleMania where he lost. Apparently The Rock was injured in that match. He claims he tore his abdominal. I don't know if I buy that, because he continued to wrestle the match after he supposedly tore his abdominal. And I don't think you could stand with a torn abdominal.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But apparently, because he was hurt from wrestling, he had to miss some movie premiere or something like that. And Hollywood apparently had a conniption about that, which is why you didn't see The Rock back in WWE for years and years and years. So eventually, if the acting takes off, MJF has a choice that he has to make.
Well, MJ brought up our buddy MJ, who has listened to the show for a while, brought up a good point, which is if Netflix ends up liking him, they could force WWE's hand to make him bring him in.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
I don't know, man.
Wouldn't that have to be a part of a contract or some sort of deal that they've already made beforehand?
I'm just saying, Netflix can be like, "Hey, we really want you to bring MJF in. We really if he has a relationship with him."
I know a few people have mentioned this in the chat. Boris just mentioned it. Erica has been mentioning it nonstop. But the funniest thing in this match was when Mark Briscoe was bleeding from the head, and then put his bleeding head on MJF's white pants so that it looked like MJF was having his period.
That was a Tony Khan move.
I still think white was a good choice for a match you're going to bleed a lot.
The Jim Cornette thing.
Yeah.
It's the Ultimate Warrior wearing a hat. You know what I mean? Something's going to go down.
Or just Sheamus in general, right? Like every time, Sheamus is going to, because of that white skin, he's going to look all beat up after his matches,
What's the meaning behind the shirt? Do you have a scoop on that? White collar wins?
I have no idea.
Because he's the white collar guy and Mark Briscoe is the blue collar guy.
That's true. Yeah, that's easy.
So,
he was fighting Mark Briscoe.
Yeah.
So, but there you go. There is your scoop. Like I said, if you want to spread, I bet you will hear that from Dave Meltzer or something in a week and a half, because everything else that I've said, well, no, I guess
Dave Meltzer won't report that because it's bad on Tony Khan.
The Andrade one came out about 20 minutes after I posted it. So maybe by the end of the show, we're going to have, you're going to see it everywhere. Who knows? We'll see. But yep. There you go.
What is this Kingston WWE? I don't think I saw that one before the show.
It's just a funny, dumb thing. Eddie Kingston.
Okay. So Eddie Kingston says that it's flattering that AEW believes he can help All Out because WWE count and addresses WWE counter programming. He says, I don't think too highly of myself. It's not a beat yourself up thing. I was taught that the meek shall inherit the earth. What the fuck? So I'm very humbled that they believe I can help with whatever bullshit war or bullshit that's going on, because all it is bullshit. It's competition, and it's one place wanting to monopolize. You guys called the thunder down upon yourselves. You wanted this. You wanted a war. They were perfectly content to ignore you when you were doing much bigger numbers on TV. And then your boss had to go out there and be Harvey Weinstein this and bald asshole that. And there's only room for one Khan this. Eventually, they were like, all right, gloves are off.
Yeah, and this is only after, Marv, when Tony Khan has been quoted many times saying, like, we're not trying to compete with WWE. This was early on. Now, what do we have? Well, we're trying to compete. Or Harvey Weinstein, just like you said, you know?
Yeah. He's called it a war multiple times. It's like, here's the thing about a war. Eventually, for it to be a war, the other side has to fight back.
Right. Yeah. No, it's okay. It's stupid, number one, because he says, I don't want to be a part. This is bullshit. This is a bullshit war. It's not real, but one place wants to monopolize. Like he can't stick with one side. He has to go against it he has to sound like he doesn't care, but he does care at the same time,
Using Bible quotes. The meek shall inherit the earth. Well, you're speaking with a forked tongue, my friend, because...
To be fair, he's not quoting the Bible. He's probably just quoting Little Shop of Horrors.
Probably. But you don't want to have somebody like this talking like this on your team. That much I do know. Like, excuse me? Like, don't talk to me about...
Ricochet. Ricochet just shoots his mouth off constantly about WWE.
Right. Okay. But at the end of the day, you want somebody like that on the team. You don't want somebody going, I'm just here for a bit. Like him, like Kingston, Kenny Omega, like, oh, I'm just here, dude. I'm just saying hi. Like, you kind of want, Tony Khan wants people who are uber loyal to him. And so when you get this kind of quote from Eddie Kingston,
it's all stupid. Okay, so you know what? I agree with you, Awful, in the sense that as annoying as Ricochet is, I'd want 20 guys that think like Ricochet before I want one guy that thinks like Eddie Kingston. Before I get one guy who's halfway in and halfway out, or trying to sound too cool for the room, or doing whatever he's doing here. You want guys that that bleed this stuff. You want guys that want it and they want to get in on it. It's very silly because Tony Khan is now trying to act like he didn't say that stuff. He's trying to act like he is above it, which is ridiculous because he did it for how long? For what, 3-4 years? We sat here reading this stuff over and over. Like Marv said, you had bald asshole, you had the Nick Khan comment. Over and over again, he's doing this, and all of a sudden he's acting like he's above it. When the truth,
the Dynamite ad.
Right. When the truth is that what you should be saying is, hey, if WWE thinks we're competition, why is that a bad thing? They could be using this to say, instead of trying to be like, we're trying to monopolize and whining about it, say, oh, maybe they're scared. Maybe maybe they're afraid of us now. I know WWE's not. I know they're not, but you can definitely paint that picture and you can come across a whole lot better than whining about monopolies.
When you grow up like a billionaire victim, you act like a victim.
Yeah.
JPS over in the super chats for $2 says, isn't everyone canceling Who Dis? Does he mean Hulu?
I don't know. I think I think there's a joke we don't get.
Probably a joke, yeah.
Ukal?
Regina Sharp for 5 says, I don't know what anyone is talking about. Problems with PLE. I had no problems at all. By the way, Mexico was wonderful this time of year. Yes, yes, we all remember your siesta over in Mexico, Regina. Juan Alacan for $10 says James Dudley was with McMahon since VKM's grandfather was promoter. He did many jobs for them and eventually started running an arena in DC for WWE. Vince was told to take care of him. So, yeah, and Vince always did. The guys that his father told him to take care of, he always did.
Yeah, I have no problem. Yeah, and by the way, I have no problem personally with James Dudley being in the Hall of Fame because the Hall of Fame is a joke, and I understand that. I don't take
Jericho.
I don't take it that seriously. So,
MJG for $4.99 says that's an ad read. Want to hear about the early days of AEW? Throw to awful.
You can check out my Death of AEW series. Episode 4 just came out last week, and I appreciate all the people who have been watching it and saying comments like, oh, it's great, it's awesome, or it sucks. I appreciate all the feedback that I can get from that. And I want to thank both of you guys for helping me along with the journey and making that long-ass video. And just like you said earlier, Marv, you had mentioned earlier, like you have like a writer's block. That's exactly what happens when you're trying to create content for YouTube, or anything for that matter.
Sometimes when I felt like with the headlock headline stuff, I started writing it the other day and I hit a wall and I was like, okay. And then I went and I started writing my novel and that kind of recharged me creatively a little bit. Mm-hmm. And when I hit a wall with that, I'll go back to rewrite the other thing. You have to kind of have multiple creative pokers in the fire outlets at a certain point. Yeah,
it is funny how much too you'll be stuck on something for so long, and then part of it is that you have to be willing to reach out to people and say, hey, watch this real quick and tell me what you think, because even if they don't give you the right advice, they might give you something that puts you on the right path. Like it could just be one tiny little thing that just sets your mind going again. You know what I mean? And that's why I always say that, sharing it around, maybe not saying, I want you to write this for me, but saying, hey, what do you think? That kind of stuff can really get you over those humps. And awful. One of the things about awful that I'll say, and Marv, both of them, the willingness to admit that and the willingness to reach out at times is it's a sign of someone who really cares about what they're producing. So,
well, that's the thing. You have to care about the quality of your product that you're putting out. If you're just putting out a product to put something out and you don't give a damn about the quality, then you're doing a disservice to your audience. And you should always be trying to work in the service of your audience. I think a lot of people think that like, oh, I don't care about the headlines anymore. No, I do. The reason why it doesn't come out as much is because I care, because I'm not satisfied with the ideas that I'm giving, the scripts that I'm coming up with. I need to wait until there's something good.
To anyone who says that, I can tell you that Marv has told me privately, headlock headlines is probably the thing that, like, personally, deep down, he cares most about, because it is his scripted episodic show that he's been wanting forever. And it's just a matter of it has to be good,
Headlock headlines has been my dream since I was probably 17 or 18
12 years old.
Like, okay. Like I had always wanted to create like a scripted episodic comedy puppet show about wrestling. And so, I do care about it. And it's because I care about it that I'm not like, I'm just going to put out any, garbage just to get stuff out,
Right. Yeah. You never want to be while I'm sure I don't speak for Marv, but I think I kind of am. Marv appreciates the feedback, like, when's headlines coming? When's headlines? I got the same thing for a while. When's the next episode coming? And just like you said before, you want it to be good. You want to satisfy that particular person and any other person watching the video or listening to the audio. You want to give them the best. And when you feel as a content creator, it's not your best, you don't want to put it out. And it's just plain and simple as that.
If I'm writing the script and I'm not laughing, there's a problem.
Dude, same here.
Right? Like, because you have to, like, and sometimes it hits out of nowhere. Like I had the idea that I wanted to do a whole thing with WWE going Disney in the next Headlock Headlines, and I know that that's where I wanted to go. I know where I want to go with Tooney in that one. I know I wanted to do something with the Twitter live streams. It's just a matter of connecting those dots,
right,
and hitting the right beats. And that's just kind of where my brain is just kind of sluggish lately. I mean, look, the last 3 weeks have just been absolutely crazy news weeks, and I work in news reporting. So, there's not been a lot of opportunities for me to, you know what? People ask me sometimes, like, what's your favorite gag from Headlock Headlines? I legitimately think it's the Tony Khan is a sicko episode, when he starts doing the monologue about like carving into flesh and stuff like that. Really creepy monologue. God. I think that was like I really like, I watched that again recently and I was like, wow, that like, I really like that joke. Like I thought that whole segment just kind of flowed really well. So,
well, and I appreciate, like we talked about before, it seems like you get to the point where you'll write it up to a point, and then if you can't get any more, you'll kind of reach out to us. But I appreciate the fact that you want to get it done from you. You want it to be your thing, because there is a difference when you own it as opposed to when you have other people working on it. And Marv could very easily say, hey, hey, you know what? I want to have Dis and Beard write these things, and we could probably produce them every 2 weeks and get them out there. But it's not from Marv. It's not Headlines at that point. It's whatever. Right. It's random jokes that Dis and Beard did to get out every 2 weeks. You want what you want is Headlock Headline.
And when we do the writer's room, like it's great because it works so well, because we can spitball and you guys can kind of like, throw stuff to me and we play with it. We bounce back and forth to each other. It works really, really well.
Yeah. But like I said, because I've actually, since you started mentioning that, I've had a couple people reach out to me and like think that we're like staff writers or something. And that's not it at all. It is right. Marv reaches out to us when he is stuck and we kind of get him over the hump, and then he continues forward. And that's what Headlines.
I wouldn't say we get him over the hump. I would say that we re-inspire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the most that I think we should do.
Right.
All right. Well, tomorrow, if you guys are free, we could do a writer's room on this so that we can work on getting this thing out.
I will be enslaved tomorrow.
I'm good. I'll be there for you, Marv. So
awful. I want you to know I resisted the joke. That was literally right there.
I tried to move on. Yeah, I tried to move on. I just,
you know what? It was right
Come
there.
Come on now. Fastball right down the middle and you didn't swing?
Nope. It was Roger Rabbit. There was Roger Rabbit shaving a haircut right there. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to let that one go. Gonna let that one pass me by like a ship in the night. But you know what's funny, because I know I want to do the oh crap, I just got a really good idea.
Okay, write it down. Don't say it.
Yep. No, I'm not gonna say it. Don't worry. Oh, that is a good one, actually. Okay. All right. Okay, we gotta move on. We hold on. We have a couple more super chats.
He wants to write Headlock Headlines right now.
You know how he feels. We've all felt that before. You get the moment you're like, I gotta do it. Let's end the show.
Oh man, no, like that's good. That's good. I just figured out how to connect the Trip and the Tooney storylines.
There you
go. Yeah, it's always the best feeling in the world when it just kind of comes together like that. MJG for $4.99 says, I'm interested in sponsoring a segment for the new lull cows over at WP. Is there an ad department I can talk to?
Oh my gosh. Did you hear this, Marv?
No, I'm confused by this.
Okay, Wrestling Purists completely did an overhaul today. So you remember they were like Ibu and those guys, and they're like, well, Ibu's still gonna be here every once in a while, but we're bringing in Andrew Badell. I can't even get.
Wait, what happened?
Okay, all right. So Wrestle Purist, I guess, who has like mediocre talents like Ibu and these other people. Yeah. And I guess what this is saying, I'm not really sure, but I do know the final news about Andrew Baydala, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were doing a complete overhaul. But anyway, they also included Andrew Baydala, who is a, what would you call him this? Like just another guy, I guess. But he's good.
He's Timu BJ Bethel. He like if you wanted like one under BJ Bethel, you'd have Andrew Baydala, the guy, and he shills wrestling tickets all the time for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know where that dude. I think he came off of like the WrestleNomics crew, right? Like that's kind of where he.
No, he came from he came from no crew. He was just a guy.
He's just
yeah.
He's just one of those guys who act like they're important until they get hired. You know, like just that kind of thing. But yeah, so purists, because you know, their whole kind of gimmick has been beaten to the ground since they had the problem with all the rumors on their Discord, where they were giving out rumors about like people sleeping with people and stuff on the Discord. So now they have to completely restaff, and they've gotten every third tier wrestling quote unquote influencer on, all the ones that were invited to All Out to appear in the crowd are now working at Wrestle Purist. So.
Okay. Ryan D for $5 says, you've probably gotten a ton of these, Marv, but I'm going to shoot my shot. Job for me, Little Shop of Horrors parody of TK persuading MJF to stay in AEW. Hold on. Yeah, when I read that title, when I read that title, I didn't think Tony Khan. I thought, I gave you a spine buster and Harley Race knee. I give you a big kick and then the pit of me. Like an entire song about like a Triple H match.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I still have to do Springtime for Helmsley.
I hate to say this, but thank you, Boris. Yes, he was. I get JD and WrestleNomics mixed up all the time. Badala was a co-host of JD, so that was the correct thing. So I appreciate that, Boris. Thank you.
I'm just letting you guys talk with that. I have no idea what any of the words that you're saying means. So.
Don't worry, we're cobbling them together as well.
Ryan D, that's a cool idea. I'm gonna file that one away.
That might be one of the better ideas we've ever gotten from comments.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good one.
What was the one that somebody gave me that I ended up actually making?
I thought it was one of the Joe Hendry ones, but
no,
maybe not.
No. A friend of mine actually came up with an idea for one of them, and I don't know if did I make it or did I just? I don't remember at this juncture. But I right now I have a bunch of song parodies that are written. I've got the Phineas and Ferb one. I've got Springtime for Helmsley has been written for forever. I wrote a really good one, but it was like really complicated, and I needed a Jericho for it. And that was before the Jericho puppet got completely derailed when I had to start it over from scratch. Remember when Jericho was saying that he was in the room where Brawl Out happened?
Yeah.
I had written a full parody to the room where it happened from Hamilton for it. And like, it's really complicated. Like, it's a very complicated song. So it was just a lot of like, Jericho, it's not in the room where it happened, the room where it happened, the room where it happened. He doesn't really know how the fight went down. The EVPs got clowned and pulled and filled his pants with brown. But this buffoon let it happen, and Jericho's not in the room where it happened. But it's been so long since he said that I'm like, there's no point in writing that and doing that one anymore.
Yeah, I had one about Chris Nowinski that I kind of just wrote in the car while I was driving around one time. But people don't seem to
you
like
really got a hard on for that guy.
I don't like Chris Nowinski. I'm very mad at that man.
Poor guy Poor guy is concussed into oblivion, and Dis is just like, no, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of Chris Nowinski.
What's your beef with Chris Nowinski?
My beef with Chris Nowinski is that every time someone goes viral for getting a concussion, he shows up and he's like, hey, look at me.
Say his name.
Yeah, that was so you got it. That's exactly what I was going to do, by the way. Yeah. It was get punched, go viral. He appears, but
I believe in Nowinski.
Clap, clap. So, but the thing is, okay, so he does that, but then he allows AEW to use the fact that he appeared backstage one time to get out of any kind of criticism about their concussion protocol, right?
Oh, well, I'm sure that when he appeared and spoke to the wrestlers, they all took it very seriously,
right?
And didn't roll their eyes.
And you know what would be great if Chris Nowinski came out and said, you know what, I think AEW is very is damaging, because that's been my main argument with AEW from the beginning. I don't care that it's bad. I care. My main issue with AEW is that you are, after years and years of professional wrestling, making it so that you didn't have to jump off balconies and take bumps on the top of your head to become big anymore. Like, they spent years training the audience to do that. AEW comes along and says, hey, you know what though? If you do that, we have a billionaire who's going to pay you 8 or 7 figures to do it for us. And it gives new wrestlers coming up the idea that, hey, I don't really need to be that good. I can just fall on my head over and over again, and I can get a lot of money for it. So it'd be a great place for Chris Nowinski to step in and say, hey, what happened to Adam Cole, where he got like 4 concussions? Or what happened to how about the fact that Matt Hardy got concussed in a match against Sammy Guevara, and then AEW used that to promote a match between Sammy Guevara and Jeff Hardy, where Jeff Hardy got a concussion? Right? Maybe at that point, Chris Nowinski can step up and say, hey, you know, I did talk to these guys, but they clearly didn't listen to me.
Are you talking about the one where Matt Hardy fell off that ladder and his head bounced off the floor?
No, this was against Sammy.
Sammy threw a chair at Matt Hardy.
Yeah, wasn't that one also against Sammy when he fell off the ladder and his head bounced off the floor?
Oh, were there multiple ones? That's possible. I do remember the chair throw. I don't remember the ladder.
The chair throw happened, but also that was the big one though. Remember?
That was the big one.
He falls off the ladder. His head bounces off the concrete floor like a basketball, and they stop the match. And then, Tony's like, he's fine. And then they let them finish the match later in the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. I also remember the whole thing with Jeff Hardy was that Sammy moved him. Remember, he got the concussion, and then they started doing stuff, and Sammy
isn't that what they used for Sammy's suspension as the reason? Because they couldn't say Mercedes Moné doesn't like him.
Oh, probably, but it happened like 6 months afterwards. Yeah. So anyway, all of this stuff is going on. And instead of, instead of Chris Nowinski coming out and saying, because remember, Tony Khan said, Chris Nowinski spoke here. He spoke to all of us. And so that would be a good time for Chris Nowinski to come out and say, yeah, I spoke there, but I don't think these people actually listen to me, and I'm against what's happening. Instead, he sat back and said nothing, which makes me wonder if, I don't know, maybe somebody in Jacksonville is paying a 6-figure donation a year to a certain organization to have him shut up about it, because I
appreciate that opinion, but I think there should be some considerations to go along with that. What if Chris Nowinski has bigger fish to fry? What if he's in line with the NFL or some other place that does listen to him, and he's actually putting in work?
Then fine.
Or what if Chris Nowinski just understands that if he says so much if he goes on Twitter and says so much as there's not great parking at these AEW shows, he is going to have to deal with Twitter flames for the next
he is shutting
months.
up.
Then don't come out. Then fine. That's fine. Then don't come out every time there's a viral video of a wrestler getting punched in the face. You come out and speak up on it. If you're gonna hold back because you don't want heat from the AEW crowd, then shut up about everything. Because obviously you don't.
What was the last time he opened his mouth about something?
Raja Jackson.
Okay, come on now. That has nothing to do with AEW, WWE. It has everything to do with. Good. Huh?
No, it was a guy. It was a guy that he spoke out on the easiest thing to talk about. That was the easiest thing to talk about. And he came out and did it.
Yeah, just like Marv said, he's not trying to shoot for the hard shots. Dude, he makes one tweet. Next thing you know, he wakes up in the morning, there's death threats and all sorts of dumb shit. He probably already went through it. He may have deleted a tweet. Now, listen, I'm not going to defend Chris Nowinski, but at the same time, I'm kind of curious, like your vitriolic reaction to him not saying anything about these.
Because he wouldn't
Chris
shut
Nowinski's
up
not
for 10 years. He wouldn't shut up about it.
And here's the thing. On the 11th year, he learned his lesson, probably. It was just like, you know what? Fuck wrestling. They want to do what they're going to do. I mean, what the fuck? It's a losing battle. You know it, and I know it. It's a losing battle trying to do some sort of concussion protocol in any sort of wrestling because it's just going to fucking happen.
Then shut up when something goes viral. He certainly is. Yeah, no, he didn't shut up when something went viral. He came out and talked. He had to butt his nose. Like, do I think something should have been said about Raja Jackson? Sure, but I think something should have been said about 10 other things that happened before that, and he didn't do it because you know what he did?
It's called picking his shot. I mean, again, just like I even believe what Marv said. Like, he doesn't want the smoke from people who are going to be like, oh, now like this. Now you show up and say something about AEW or whatever. Like, no.
Don't. First off, not the smoke from people like this, because the people who would have been complaining about it would have been complaining because he's talking too much. I don't think he's talking enough. I do think it's important, and I think it's important everywhere. I don't think it's just important when something goes viral. I apologize if that's a problem with people, but I think that that it is a bigger issue than just to mention it whenever something gets a million hits, and to come out and to be like, if Psycho Stu needs help, he should call my helpline. Come on, dude. Seriously? Come on. If that's what you're gonna say. If anybody has a problem with, they should call my helpline. TM registered trademark, copyright pending. Like, come on, dude.
Hey,
I'm
listen,
sorry.
Got a gambling problem? Call 1-800 blah 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 blah. And it's just that's what Chris Nowinski's trying to do. He's trying to do. He's not trying to like own the room on concussion protocol.
But he did. He did,
but now he's not. Okay, and there's
everything in the world changed. Everything in the world changed because of Chris Nowinski. And now that dude is sitting on his hands going, I don't have a problem with what happened to Adam Cole. I don't have a problem with it.
No, he just doesn't want to tweet about it.
He doesn't have to tweet about it. He could go say something about it. He could be a man and stand up and actually have
wow, dude, because listen, again, I'm not going to defend Chris Nowinski, but this is a fine line between hateration and having a logical explanation for your dislike of the man, especially when considerations are on the table saying, hey, maybe he's doing something else right now. And you're like, well, for 10 years he was doing this. I know people change jobs. People lose interest in things. And maybe he's not interested. What's that?
He didn't, because he's still doing it. He just doesn't want to go viral.
Exactly. That's a great time to advertise. But he's not going to advertise. Hold on. He's not going to advertise when some dirtbag gets thrown over the top rope and onto a table in AEW, because he knows that that's not great advertisement. They're going to do that shit every fucking week on TV.
He tweeted 2 days ago about the NFL. So he's still talking about it.
About the NFL.
He just doesn't talk about it when it comes out.
Bigger fish.
Well, of course he's still talking about it. It's literally like his entire life is talking about this stuff.
He's just not going to do it with AEW and their bullshit. That's all.
So you're saying the one? Okay, he comes out and speaks about Raja Jackson, which was okay. Did it go viral? Yeah, but is this a problem? Do we have a problem with MMA guys? The children of MMA wrestlers, MMA fighters, coming into wrestling companies and shooting on people? Is that a problem that needs to be fixed, or is that a one-time viral thing that he can go out and talk about to get people to know about his helpline? That is a viral thing.
What did he say, Dis?
Here's the thing. WWE, like in the NFL, like care about when people get concussions. What if he went there, realized this guy does not care at all? So why am I going to waste my breath? Nothing's going to change. I will get
Period.
nothing
So
but
why does he
grief
let them use
if I
his
comment
name?
on this.
If you were somebody and you let and that,
Does he
that
send him a
company
cease and
was
desist? Tony Khan can
using-
say we could drop whatever names he wants to drop.
Okay, dude. I'm sorry. People in the chat, by the way, the fact that somebody in the chat said that it's because I don't care about concussions, or the fact that someone is saying that, yes, do I understand?
You and Stone Cold Steve Austin over here.
This is because I do care about
There ain't no
concussions.
such thing as CTE.
No, but the fact that I even have this argument is because I do care about concussions. And it
I
makes
know.
me angry when people don't stand by the convictions that they claim they have. Chris Nowinski went for years claiming that he had these convictions. And now that it's an actual problem, that people's careers are shortening, that they're getting CTE again,
This is so unfair to Chris
But
Nowinski.
just all you can do is give people the information.
Yep.
And if they are informed and willingly go out and do that, there's nothing you can do about that.
AEW is on network television. They're being produced by a billionaire. They are on pay-per-view monthly. To say that they aren't high profile enough for Chris Nowinski to talk about when he's out there talking about touch football is insane.
Because
Chris
touch
Nowinski-
football
Touch
might
foot-
actually
yeah.
listen to him. At a certain point, you have to pick your battles. This is he went there. He probably went there, talked to this roster of
Goofballs.
fat, skinny guys who rolled their eyes at him, and then went out there and did unprotected chair shots
Marv,
that
I have a
night
question.
and washed his hands of it and said, "Fine, I told you, I gave you the information. If you go out there and bludgeon yourselves into irrelevancy, that's your choice at this point."
So, Marv,
I'm
you're
going to
telling me-
make a mean tweet about it.
No, no, but here's the thing. You're telling me that you would allow somebody to use your name to clear theirs.
Is
When
Tony Khan
that's
taking
your-
out a billboard and being like a picture of
Every
him and Chris
time.
Nowinski with their arms around each other?
Every
Or is he just
time.
saying Chris Nowinski talked to us? Because
Every
he
time
did.
every time somebody brings it up, he goes, "Well, we did have Chris Nowinski come here and talk to us, and he, so obviously we care about this stuff. It's a big deal." And
He
care."
also said that there would be no cussing, no bloodletting, and no trash wrestling on Dynamite. Now
Okay.
what?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and
Like,
we call him
people
out every
change,
week about it.
situations change, and Chris Nowinski has probably had enough of AEW, and that's all there is to it.
Then he should
I'm
say
not-
something. He's never said anything. He's got to
call you up this. Chris, if you're out there listening, call this, please,
Talk to
and
me.
just let him know. Talk to him.
Let's have a conversation.
Okay?
I'm
Or
serious.
or
If
tweet.
If Chris Nowinski came out tomorrow and said one thing about it, if he said one thing where he said, "You know what? I went there and those guys didn't listen to me. There's nothing I can do." That's all I want. But this is the same man who changed multiple sports because of how much he quote unquote cares about it. Okay. And now we have an actual problem again where we're being called pussies because we don't like seeing people dropped on their head.
Mhm.
Okay. And suddenly he's off talking about, he's still talking about the NFL. He's still talking about this stuff. So talk about it. Bring it up. Say something. If he
you know
actually
what's-
went to AEW, that makes it worse because then he
God.
knows.
Yeah, true, dude. Listen, I just threw a verb out there, and that was to consider. And it sounds like you're not considering anything that me or Marv just said. You're not gonna embrace the fact that maybe he's a little bit fucking tired of dealing with these professional wrestlers. He's going to He's going to find his legitimacy in other sports where they listen.
Also,
Period. That's a
Also,
yeah. That's
also talking. What gets your organization more eyes, right? Because it is a business at the end of the day, even if it's a nonprofit. Talking about the NFL and the WWE, or talking about this show that 500,000 people a week watch.
Totally. And if
He goes out there and talks about them, people are going to be like, "What are you talking about?"
fine, then act like a fucking business and not a charity. There it is. Fine.
Charities
You know
are, but
what?
every charity is a business.
501c3.
Nothing.
March of Dimes is a business where it has a CEO that makes bank.
Nothing.
Like
I'm sorry.
every charity is a.
I'm sorry. Nothing pisses me off more than people that pretend they have convictions, but then when it comes time to actually speak and make a difference, they don't because, the target's too small or, it's not going to reach up. It is a problem. It is a problem. There is a problem. And to go on a 10-year crusade to change professional wrestling in the WWE, and then when it starts being a problem again, to not say anything about it until Raja Jackson comes in, and then even then, he didn't talk about how it was a problem.
It's
in
very circular.
Wrestling.
But I'm not trying to convince you of anything else.
At a certain point in time, it's a problem that grown adults are bringing on themselves. Right. And at that point, you just have to wash your hands of it. All I can do is give you the information. What you do with it is what you do with it. Well, no, the NFL is predatory.
Why isn't AEW predatory?
Because in the NFL, you don't go out there and you plan to run your head into somebody else. In AEW, in pro wrestling, you willingly say, and then you pick up that chair, swing it as hard as you can at my unprotected
swing for
head.
the fences.
At that point, it's your fault.
I agree with you that it's your fault, 100%.
With the NFL, they can enact policy changes or equipment changes that might be able to help these guys because the concussions are not happening on purpose.
You can have in wrestling. Well, then why did he go after WWE for 10 years?
Because that's what he did.
Why did he go after WWE for 10 years then? I'm just saying, if it's so different, then why did he spend all that time going after WWE? You know why? Because of Chris Benoit. And if Chris Benoit hadn't done what he did, I don't think Chris Nowinski would have said a freaking word about WWE.
No, why would he? No other professional wrestler killed their wife and child with this. Okay, that was big news. That's huge news.
Lord, what a sidetrack this was.
Yeah, really. I don't know what to say. I was going
to move on. You brought me into this world. Okay.
Well, I'm taking you out of it now. To quote my father, I'm taking you out of it. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Christopher Miller for $5 says, Marv, I give you crap about headlock headlines because I love you. Now cowboy it up and write, you orange throw rug. Yep, no, you're not wrong. Ryan D for $4.99 says, in my opinion, Trip fits a dentist song parody more. I am your booker, and I get off on the jobbing I do. Yeah, I can see that. Cody Duffy for $1.99. I hear what this is saying, and congrats, Steph.
We all hear what this is saying.
Yeah, and congrats, Steph. Cody Duffy also says, to be honest, I've gotten creepy lawyer vibes from Chris Nowinski. Arthur Jennings for $10 Australian says, I'm a little behind watching the stream. I think Marv set the bar pretty high with headlock headlines, and it is a one-of-a-kind content for wrestling. I know that's why I'm eager for the next one. Man, there's a pressure to make it good, because I'm always worried that I'm like, this is going to be the one where everyone's like, this jumped the shark. So, it's a real fear. CWJ 128 for $5 says, hello all. In 2 years, which match will have more star power, Fletcher and Page or Femi Trick? Looks like TNA Invasion angle is happening.
This versus Chris Nowinski.
Yeah, I'll take him on. Let's do it.
MJG for $20. Thank you very much, MJG. Says, Chris doesn't talk about AEW, probably because of the cons in the NFL. That makes it worse. This is right. He could make a real difference in AEW if he used his platform, but he chooses not to. AEW don't have Jags level of protocol. But again, I make the point that these guys are going out there and planning their concussions. But I get the frustration with the hypocrisy. I definitely get it. But here's the thing: in the Attitude Era, when The Rock, blasted Ken Shamrock in the head or blasted Mick Foley in the head with the chair, man, it was always The Rock swinging those chairs, wasn't it? Yep. The unprotected chair shots, we didn't know back then. We know now. So when you swing an unprotected chair shot now, you are willingly volunteering for a concussion. And
chairs aren't gimmicked.
I have no pity for you at that point.
Yeah.
So, all righty, let's, goodness gracious me. That was a ordeal and a half, awful.
Dude, circular conversation. We didn't ask him to change his thoughts on Chris Nowinski. We just wanted him to find out. We just wanted to know, why he has such a hatred. But I just found out Chris Nowinski kicked Diss's dog way back in the day, and he's not going to tell us about it. But that's why he's muted right now.
That's why he's muted right now, because Chris Nowinski headbutted his way through the wall and is now attacking him. So,
yep. He'll never tell that publicly, but that's the case.
No, but we know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
We know what's happening. We know the truth, and we report it without fear.
I've never seen anybody get so mad at a name before, at a Polish name before.
God, seriously.
Fuck that guy. He hasn't said anything forever. Well, great. You might be the only one paying attention to him, because I didn't know Chris Nowinski was even on.
I forgot he existed.
Dude, yeah.
I forgot that man. I forgot that man existed before this conversation.
Hilarious. This is the best.
Oh my goodness. Ewan Kumi is asking, will Awful and Dis still do the show on Thursday? What do you think, they're in a fight now? I don't know, Awful.
Yes, we will be doing the show on Thursday. Me and Dis like each other a lot, so we're going to give each other shit like brothers. Same thing with Marv over here. Wait till me and Marv have a disagreement.
I just sat back, and you and I are the only two that have never had a disagreement. Oh no, Dis and Kev have never really had a big disagreement. No, they have.
You and Awful have had a disagreement.
I don't think so.
It's usually more of like you and Kev's disagreement, and then Awful comes in on the back end. It's like, I agree with Kevin. It's more like that.
Of course he does.
But
no, I disagree with Kevin. Kevin one time told me that I didn't like Jade Cargill. I was like, you better check the record, my man.
You don't? You're the biggest Jade Cargill hater on the planet.
You guys
one of.
You tell me I don't like Jade Cargill, and I don't think I've ever said a bad word about her.
I said she could use some more training. That's as far as I've gone. And
Chris Nowinski exists, and then Dis is like,
I'll get you for this. You won't escape my wrath.
that's actually Dis when Chris Nowinski doesn't mention AEW.
It makes me sad.
Gay!
And there we go. That was the perfect button on this. Well, guys, it's time for another edition of That's Dave for You. This time, Dave is talking about people that claim that he makes up numbers. So our Hammond Media Group says, has Dave Meltzer lost it yet again, throwing out BS numbers defending AEW? Did you understand this? AEW Dynamite Tony Khan. So Bully Ray had said, unfortunate, but AEW as a product is lost. There's certainly some bright spots with their talent, but as a company, it lacks definitive direction. It is what it is. A company owned and operated by a fan with lots of money. Tony Khan is a good guy with a good heart. He's not a booker, and the boys know it. As Dave Meltzer replies, I will say this. Anyone who says I give out BS numbers is the biggest form of liar on the face of the earth. That's a strong statement.
Yeah, very big.
If there is something that advertises that you're a fraud, it would be saying something so totally provably false like that. Now, it would probably be giving provably false numbers like you do.
Over and over and over again every week.
If I say it enough, that it's true. So Dave,
you learned that from somebody.
The PWI 500, and I believe he, Cody was number one, right?
Right.
And then it was Moxley, Hangman Page, and Hiroki Goto. It is what it is. We'll only say this. By their standards, hard to argue Mystico shouldn't be number one, except he's not American. Very good in the ring, not the best, but as far as being over and winning matches, wrestles more than anyone, almost always main events, and never loses, wins clean far more than anyone, held world titles in multiple companies, didn't lose either in the ring, won Opera Cup and other tournaments. I don't know if they consider drawing power, but that's a major plus for him as well. Does he think that, like, these are real, like...
He's trying to say that Mystico, while not being that good, by their standards deserves, because he is a draw in CMLL. But the thing is that I think anybody in WWE who can draw any money is automatically going to be a bigger draw than anyone in CMLL.
Yeah.
And then
so
Justin Wang put out a joke tweet, and he still had to go on it.
yeah, the joke tweets are based on that criteria. Actually, Mystico would have to be number one. Yeah, because you don't get the joke because you're an autistic troll. All right. Oh gosh, the Tiffy thing. It was believed that Stratton was to wrestle Jade Cargill and Nia Jax in a three-way bout at WrestlePalooza. However, the match is now scheduled for Friday SmackDown. Alvarez says, "Oh, the three-way schedule for next week's SmackDown was supposed to be on the CSPN show. Oh, simmer down." And he goes, "I think Nick Khan claimed that it was pulled because they ran out of time." Is this Meltzer or Alvarez
Meltzer
talking here? Listen, everybody, Tiffany was hurt. I presume she's going to wrestle on Friday. It was not pulled because they ran out of time. It was pulled because she was not cleared. So color me skeptical when they talk about anyone's injury status or anything like that. Meanwhile, Nick LaPiccolo, Tiffany's agent, was like, she's 100% not hurt.
Yeah. And if you go to the second one, the audio, this is Dave audio from before he said this.
About which is the anniversary show.
One thing we should talk about is the three-way that'll in theory be on SmackDown on Friday was supposed to be on the show tonight.
Can you turn it up a little?
I can't.
So there's different stories. What I will tell you is
this would be Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, and Nia Jax.
Right. So Thursday, I was told that the match will be on if Tiffany Stratton is cleared. And then on Friday, it was like they're going to announce tonight what they do, which was they announced the match for next week rather than on the show. So that was that. I know that Tiffany's agent says that she was not injured and that it was a timing.
Because she's not injured.
So that's you don't have to play anymore. That's basically it. He there admits that Nick LaPiccolo, her agent, said that she wasn't injured.
He damn well knows his name and is purposely not saying it, by the way.
And then even though...
Well, if I say his name, then he appears.
Even though LaPiccolo said that she wasn't injured, he still went on to report that stuff later that she was injured. So that's Dave. Like I said, there's that was the meat of it, that he actually mentioned her agent.
So, he was trying to say how great AEW is doing it. Somebody says, now, Julian Weeks says, Dave, you purposely left out the attendance because it didn't fit your agenda, just like how you manipulate the raw numbers to fit your agenda. Attendance is down, but viewers are way up. In what?
Impossible.
We see the numbers. We see the viewership numbers every week. They just did under 500,000 on Dynamite.
He's going to try to explain it off in the next
I know, but I also have to give so the latest Collision, September 20th, 184,000 viewers, a 0.04 in the key demo, which suddenly isn't all that important anymore now that they don't do well in the key demo.
Right.
Hey, real quick, shout out Julian Weeks, too. We don't talk. He's a good guy. I like Julian. Shout out to him.
So this guy says, how are AEW views up? WWE may be down in TV numbers from previous years, but they are way up in engagement, which is most sport metric at the end of the day. UK up double digits. Canada up last I saw. Why does he talk like Brock Lesnar? Dave say UK up double digits. Ugga bugga, Canada up last I saw. Like what are you, Fred Flintstone? US TV numbers steady. They're not steady. They're in free fall. 50 while Miak siphoned off viewers from TV and added even more new ones for greater access and availability. Again, a thing you by your own volition says you do not know.
Tony Khan has come out and said that he doesn't know.
PPV strong, even with a competition constantly thrown. Average attendance down for sure, partially from running smaller buildings. But 3 of company's 5 biggest gates in its history are since February this year.
Okay, awful. I'm gonna throw this one to you. Awful. Is the attendance down because of running smaller buildings, or are they running smaller buildings because the attendance was down? Go.
I know for a fact that they're running smaller business because attendance was down, because Kosher Irby, the person who schedules these events, said as much last year.
There you go.
We're going to go for more intimate settings. Now, of course, while he did not say why you're going for intimate settings, we know why. I mean, it's just the long and short of it.
Last year, they were bringing in 1,200, 1,500 people for Dynamite tapings. Like they were, it was
around 2,000.
Yeah,
it was embarrassing, especially when you're running a 15,000 seat NBA stadium. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're running hockey stadiums and NBA stadiums. So the idea that if Dave is trying to say that they're down because they're running smaller buildings, the truth is, man, they're running smaller buildings because they couldn't fill up those bigger buildings, and they're doing something that we said they should have been doing forever.
Yeah,
although,
Now, it's good that they're running the smaller buildings, but like, stop trying to say it like it's a triumph.
I think it's a two-way street on the smaller buildings, because I think it is smart that they're running smaller buildings. But when you run something as small as a 2,300 arena the week after you did your quote unquote biggest North American pay-per-view ever, you look really, really bad.
Janky. Then you run a residency there.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
So the other thing with Dave right now is he is absolutely losing his mind about this ESPN stuff.
Yes.
So let's have a look.
And there were a bunch of media calls today, and in one of them they talked about the coverage of professional wrestling and how
that was ironic.
Everybody can just write whatever they want.
It's separation of church and state. And nothing's good.
Oh my God, you absolute.
This was before the C grade on the WrestlePalooza, by the way.
Yeah, seriously.
Going to change, and absolutely nothing's going to change. And this is the same company that when the deal was brokered, or actually just before, they, stopped covering AEW. They have not had an AEW story.
You know what? They don't cover the local Pop Warner football team in my hometown either. They it's weird. They just stopped covering it when they started negotiating with the NFL.
Last time they wrote an AEW story was about Tony Storm and the show in Australia. So that's February. You don't think that these negotiations, had anything to do with that?
No,
I totally believe that.
It's ridiculous to think.
I would love to see the numbers that they were pulling on those AEW articles, because I guarantee you they were getting no traction, because anyone that's looking for AEW news is not going to ESPN. They're going to Dave Meltzer or Sean Ross Sapp or one of these other dirt sheet guys. They're not going to ESPN for it. And let me tell you something, guys. It's numbers on a website for each page. They're not like max numbers. You can see them. Okay. And they probably weren't anything, and they just stopped covering it because it's not worth the manpower. It's not worth it to pay someone to write that article.
Right.
And you know what?
Their about page probably had more views than their AEW page.
And you know what? Honestly, I bet they would have kept doing it just for the optics of it, had Tony Khan not come on their airwaves and brought up Harvey Weinstein when talking about WWE. I bet that had a whole lot to play in it, especially considering WWE was making deals with the MLB and the NFL and basically every other sporting organization in the world to make title belts for them at the time. I would imagine
with every team but the Jaguars.
Yeah. Well, and whose fault is that? I'm just saying that if Tony Khan hadn't come on and said that, then I bet you'd still get AEW stories on ESPN.com.
Oh yeah, no, I hate to be arguing with it all night long, but yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think business is business. AEW got the short end of the stick. they can't advertise or do anything that they want to do anymore on the ESPN website.
But it's
Because
not,
why? WWE.
I think it's
Period.
both. I think it's column A and column B. I think they would have kept doing it if they hadn't done both. But the fact that no one cares about it, the fact that Tony Khan did that, and the fact that they're in business with WWE, it all comes together to make this perfect storm where what is the point of covering AEW? I think it all works into that. If AEW hadn't said anything about WWE, I think they'd still have like the results of, All Out on their website or something like that, or another, especially considering the fact that they have a pro AEW writer reviewing WrestlePalooza. I think they clearly don't care about that stuff. I think the main thing is that they just don't want anything AEW related because Tony Khan is embarrassing. Why would you want to promote him when all he did was take down somebody who could be a partner with you?
Well, wasn't that like 2 years ago?
No, it was last year.
That was last year, NFL
Are
draft.
you sure?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. It was last year.
Why do I think it was more than it was longer than that? It feels just like a million jillion.
2 years ago. 2 years ago was when they made the documentary. You remember the Tony Khan documentary about the NFL draft? Yeah, that was 2 years ago. So
okay.
They're not, especially with ESPN, which has a kind of a history about that. I mean, it's like people saying like, that they're not going to change their coverage of football because the NFL now owns a piece of ESPN, and that's ridiculous too. That's just not the real world as we live in it today. It may have been at some point, but that's not today's real world. The change in the media climate, it's really sad.
It's really sad. The change in the media climate is so sad.
Oh, God, he's such a.
It's so sad. Ugh.
All right, guys. I wanted to talk about the Gail Kim stuff, but I really don't think we have time. So we're gonna have to push that to next week.
That'll be good though. I'm sure there'll be kind of like an afterbirth on this, and it'll be good to get all of it.
Oh, it's not over, especially because she's gonna go on Busted Open about it. All right, Awful. You have a YouTube channel that's doing pretty well. Why don't you tell people about it?
Yeah, it's doing pretty well. I just, like I said earlier, I put the newest episode of the Death of AEW series up online. It's on my channel, youtube.com/@AEWFUL Wrestling. It's been cool. I love getting the feedback. I enjoy what a lot of people are saying about it. And hopefully, if you haven't seen it, you'll enjoy it as well. But you can check me out there. You can also check me out on Twitter at AEWFUL Wrestling. This Thursday, you can check us out on This Is Awful. New episode coming live. And thank you for watching that as well. And, of course, every Tuesday, maybe sometimes or a little late, right here on Tooney Talk Wrestling on Toon Wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Akadis, what have you got going on?
Hey, the main thing is, this show and what we're doing over on Awful's channel with This Is Awful. We're going to cover something. We didn't have a show last week because, weather took us out, which is going to happen. We're both rural guys, so occasionally we're going to be hit by the weather bug a little bit. But this week I think Awful's working on an intro. We're going to have all kinds of stuff set up, and we're going to
indeed
we're actually trying to kind of play with the format a little bit to see if we can do more watch alongs. Maybe we'll switch over to another place. We'll keep you all posted. But so if you're in the Discord, or if you want to get in the Discord, hit me a message and I will send you a link for that. Also, don't forget that if you want to listen to the audio version, every Friday it goes up over on any place, Spotify, Amazon, any place that you get your podcasts. You can listen to Tooney Talk Wrestling over there. We're part of the Wrestling Soup Network, so big shout out to those guys. And if you are listening to us on the audio version, don't forget that if you want to listen to us live, you can come to youtube.com/@ToonWrestling every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern and check us out there. So thank you guys. And of course, follow me at AEW Disciplinary on Twitter.
All right, and big thank you to AEW Neckbeards, who's been manning the chat out there, our mod extraordinaire, who has been, hanging out with you guys all night. We've got some fun stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. We are going to try to play a new game with the Monet Mag in which we generate our own Monet mag with ChatGPT, and we try to see which Monet mag actually sounds more like Mercedes Monet.
I'll work on that.
Yeah, and then we are going to we're also going to be bringing up we played a game on Tooney Talk TV last week called the Cameo Game, in which I was giving names of actors and TV stars and stuff who were on Cameo, and the crew had to say what they thought that people were charging. And so it was, you get a point for each time you get closest without going over Price is Right rules. We're going to do that on this show as well in the next couple of weeks, but with wrestling. So with wrestlers who are on there, because there's a lot of wrestlers on Cameo and a lot of them are delusional. So all right. And guys, we will also have Lauren and Apollo over on the WWE Pro show, or the WWE Pro channel. Starts at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you go check that out. I will be over there as well. Yeah, thank you to everyone who chatted, everyone who super chatted. Big thanks to Mike Glass for that big $100 super chat. Saved my butt this week. But from all of us here at the Tooney Town channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!
Now, Perry the Platypus, feel the wrath of my thank you-inator!
Thank you, you piece of trash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you! Oh, I suppose you want me to say thank you. Well, you know what? Saying thank you is like jobbing. Thank you! I got a little message. Thank you. Ooh, yeah!
Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
Thanks? For what? Hi-ho, from all of us here at Tooney Town, thank you!
And viewers like you. Thank you.